Hey, everybody, what's going on? Hey, everybody, what's going on? Whoop. Echo. It's a Sunday night. Good night to talk about things. We'll see how it goes. Lucid Dream, how you doing? Misfit, how you doing? Oh, Misfit Melody. I misfitted myself on that one. Hi, Melody. Oh, Mama, how you doing? Good to see you. Glad you could make it in. Better than going on at 2 a.m. like it did the other night, but see how it goes with all the football getting wrapped up today. I'm actually going going live tonight just to give Lisa a little distraction because her Bears lost tonight. So Stony Blunt has gone. I made a snack and got back just in time. Perfect timing. Did you make enough for everybody? That's the question. Snaketology, I'm upset too because of the Bears game. Bon Jovi, how's it going? Yeah, I think the Bears are set up pretty good right now. They got a lot to work on and or work with, and they still have a lot to work on because they really should have won that game tonight. I think they lost the game more than the Rams won the game. For a while there, I said to Lisa, I didn't know who to pick as far as who deserved to win that game, but toward the end, I think the Bears played a better game overall. There was just a few pretty bad decisions on the quarterback's part, and I think it made the difference. Two of my nephews and their dad went up to Chicago to see the Bears. Sure, they're not happy after just spending $500 a ticket. I thought that'd be crazy. Well, I'll tell you what, Hot Mama, that was a hell of an environment to be in. I don't know what it's worth, whether it's worth 500 or more or less, but that especially at the end of the game, for anybody that watched the game, they'll know what I'm talking about. But the Bears tied it with 13 seconds left or something on a play that you just don't see in the NFL very often, and how much of it was just blind luck and how much of it was skill, I don't know. It seemed like maybe a little bit of both in there. Hey, Marsha. Hey, Grammy Heather. Anthony Avenate. Is it true that Lisa B goes in Boss Talks chat? Yes. Why do you ask? I'm going to guess you already know that since you asked the question, but there's a part two to that question, though. You have to understand that, right? The Lisa B that goes into Boss Talks chat, who is it? Because anybody with a half a brain cell working would know that it's not my Lisa B. But anybody that wants to believe that, that's fine. You can run with it. Doesn't matter. It just adds to the whole pile of people making themselves look bad. But yeah, the game, the stadium toward the end of that game, the stadium at the end of that game was insane. And you could see some of the cameras vibrating. There was so much ruckus going on. I saw it on Reddit, but I didn't believe it was the real Lisa B. Well, first clue there, Anthony, is you saw it on Reddit. And I don't know you or your history or otherwise, but you got to know, you read something on Reddit, 99 point something percent chance that it's just horseshit. So there's that. I can just tell you that Lisa doesn't chat under Lisa B. Never has, never will. Just kind of shows how dumb some people are. And of course, the people that, person doing it won't admit to it. So
Cheap imitation.
Lisa just said, absolutely, it's just a cheap imitation. Yeah, cheap is really the word in that sentence too. Definitely a cheap imitation. Y'all good, White Snake. Very cool. See when you get done with your phone call. But yeah, I was gonna make the title, and it would have been fitting, but I just didn't. For Lisa's sake, I didn't. But I was gonna make the title. There's still losers in Denver and Chicago, but I left the Chicago part off of it. But I think pretty apropos for the circumstances. It could have been the title, probably even better. And I also just found, I didn't realize that the Denver quarterback broke his ankle at the end of the last game. Like 3 or 4 minutes left in the game, he got tackled and broke his ankle. He's gonna have surgery on Tuesday, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday. So that sucks, because I thought the Denver New England game would be a pretty good game, but now I don't know. I have no idea who their backup is or anything, but I'm not a huge fan of either one of those teams, but definitely not a fan of New England. Annie, how's it going? Melody, you want the Seahawks to win? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the Seattle football program either. To be honest, I just have a history of interactions, with Green Bay and them, and different things that happen. But I don't know. Times change, people change, circumstances change. Officiating gets worse by the year, and there's not a whole lot we can do about it. I guess we just got to keep. Do you see that person, Glenda? I do, Hot Mama. Is that a troll? Kind of looked like a troll statement. Sorry, what? Yeah, why don't you, Melody, to go live anymore? I don't know, Glenda. Why don't you answer that out in Never Neverland, where you're at right now? Because see, you come in here, you say stupid nonsense like that right off the bat, and I kind of figured the whole monitor thing, unless there was something I didn't know about, the whole monitor thing was a stupid attempt at a troll. And now why I won't let Melody go live anymore, that's just proves you're a moron. So we don't care for morons in here when they talk like that. I don't kick people out just for no reason, but thanks for the reason. Pretty easy. Read the banner. I should remind everyone, read the banner. When you come in, read the banner. Read it all. And then I should say, hit the like and subscribe and comment and what else? Yeah, don't worry about that crap. I don't care about that stuff. Melody, come on. Don't say that out loud. You know I'm in control of you. You know that you don't do anything without my permission. That's just how it works. That's how it has to work. Right? All you have to do is agree to that now, and it's just going to be front page news tomorrow. Sure. Fair enough. But yeah, we're gonna go over. There was a quote unquote interview done. I don't remember even what day it was now. The days kind of run together, but there was an interview done that I'm gonna play through and we're gonna do some commenting on it. And if you guys want to, I'll just say this while it's playing. If you guys have something to ask or comment on it, and you want me to stop it or otherwise, just let me know in chat, and I can stop it, and we can talk about something. You don't have to wait for me to say something about it or otherwise. Just if like I said, if you want to stop it at some point, just let me know in the chat. I have no problem stopping it at any point to talk about what you guys want to comment on or make an observation about or otherwise. Now there's Misfit, or should I just say 52? I guess now that we got Misfits going on, I guess I'll have to use 52. How you doing, 52? Hopefully you're doing good. And then another note on a side note, it's 7 degrees here now. It's supposed to go down below zero tonight. We're supposed to have a high of 3 degrees tomorrow. And then back down below zero again tomorrow night. And I think the high temperature for the next 6 days, or maybe 7 days, I think it's 13 degrees is the highest we're going to be in the next week. So I'm not real happy about it, but it's 70 in our house right now, so I'm feeling okay with that. As long as I don't have to go out and do a whole lot of stuff, like filling up bird feeders and things like that when it's bitter cold outside, just so somebody can watch the birds. Don't eye roll me. Yeah, it's nice to be, in a situation where we can have the house nice and toasty. Sassy Pants, how you doing? Minus 25 tonight with the wind chill. Good Lord. That should be illegal. We get that here far too many times. And I'm sorry. It just, when they have to close the schools because it's too cold for the kid to stand outside or go out for recess or go out and wait for a bus or anything else, that should just be completely against universal law. I mean, if you want to live in that kind of stuff, if they want to throw it out there, you should be in Siberia or somewhere where it's just normal. But it's the frozen tundra. Yeah, absolutely. You don't have to go too far north of us to see, really the true frozen tundra, because it's amazing that about an hour north of us, actually, the terrain, the vegetation, the canopy, everything about the whole landscape changes. It's like you're driving into a whole different country, and it's like I said, it's about an hour's drive from here, where there you could almost draw an imaginary line to separate it between, you know, what it's like around here and what it's like when you drive into it. Kind of like going through some of the tunnels in the mountains. You drive in through a big valley or big, you know, big open area or otherwise, and you come out the other side and it's real tight bluffs and cliffs and you know, falling rocks everywhere and all that. That's kind of what it's like going up there, but just there's no tunnel. You just all of a sudden you blink and you're in a different world. And it looks like tundra. It really does. It everything about it. There's no broadleaf trees. There's a lot of horizontal growth on the ground vegetation. A lot of bare rock. Just the whole thing just looks wild. Thick blood and skin. Yeah, Sassy, I'll tell you, you really gotta give yourself time to get used to it and acclimate to it. You know, the cold, just like the heat down south. You know, going from here to there or there to here, either way, you definitely have to adjust to it. But I'm not sure. I don't know which one's easier. The thing I always said, you know, with living down south is you can only get so naked. And then you got to have help. At least up here, you just put an extra coat on or a scarf or insulated gloves or whatever, and you're usually okay. But down south in the heat and the humidity and the bugs and everything else, you have to have mechanical assistance. It's 20 here, but feels like 5. Yeah, I don't know what to feel. Do you know what the feel like temperature is here? Because it's kind of windy out too. There's been some breezes and stuff moving through. 28 tonight in South Louisiana. Hi, Juju. What is it? -6? That's not too bad. -6 wind chill. After 18 years in Arizona, coming back was hard, but I'm adjusting now. Yeah, I came here from Central Florida, and the first year we were here, we came like late summer, and on Halloween, that night it was 11 degrees, and neither one of the kids, who were both young, you know, 10 and under, neither one of them really wanted to go out and do it, but they really wanted to do it. So we put about 10 layers of clothes on underneath them and then put their costume stuff on and then went out, and they were okay. But that was cold. And then Christmas Eve, it was 20 below on the thermometer after coming from Central Florida for a long time. So that was a big shock. And it does take a while to get used to it. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I grew up in the snow belt off Lake Erie, so winters were just something that was part of the territory. 42 here, was 50 today. I see you. 42 here, was 50 today. Victoria, British Columbia. Southern Vancouver Island. Yeah, I got to tell you, Southern Vancouver Island, that the whole Vancouver Island area is my niece's favorite spot on the whole planet. She's traveled around a lot of places, and she has been up there. She particularly enjoys the whale population that frequents that area or moves through that area. Or your official. I've been here 29 years. I've been here, I think, 29 years now. So I think that makes me kind of an official cheesehead. I've paid my dues. All right, let's bring this guy into the mix here.
What's going on?
How you doing, White Snake?
I'm doing.
That's
How are
good.
you guys?
I'm doing okay. We're staying warm and talking about weather, and we're getting weather reports from all over the country and next country up, and talking about whether it's nasty cold or bearable. So,
It was a balmy 69 degrees here today.
well, that's horrible. How did you
Yeah,
survive it?
I don't know. It's rough. It's rough.
Yeah, I saw this 80 in LA yesterday, the day before, and I thought, man, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with us sitting up here with this crazy weather.
Yeah, it's been an odd year for us here. Really haven't got near the amount of rain or snow that I'd like to see. Just makes me concerned for the months coming up for fires and all that. I'm hoping that February and March are a good snow, get a good snowpack going on. But
Yeah.
I've seen it snow here in June before. June 1st, it's been snowing. So, we could still see some.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're our winters are done. Our snow is done third week of April. Religiously, it doesn't matter what kind of weather we've had through the winter, whether it's a lot of snow, small amount, super cold, not super cold. The one thing I can definitely say, at least for the amount of time I've been here, is the third week of April is the cutoff point. That's when you know that everything's done. We've never, at least in this area, we've never had snow past the third week of April, not once. Now, in the last part of the second week of April, into that through the beginning, middle of that third week, we might get 2 feet with 40-mile-an-hour winds and 6-foot drifts out in front of the across the driveway in the yard and everything. But again, by the next week, it's done, and that melts off, and nothing follows it. So,
Like the last hurrah for the winter.
yeah, and it's been very, very consistent. As long as you call a drinking fountain a bubbler, you're in. I actually have done that, Sassy Pants. I've there's a number of things, the sayings and stuff, the verbiage up here is, there's a lot of weird sayings that when you first get here, even just the pronunciation of cities, people struggle with what, how to pronounce them properly, because most of them are Indian names. First of all, that adds to it. But like cutting in line, like if you're standing in line, somebody cuts in front of you. To me, I've always known it as cutting in line, and no matter where I was, that's what I heard. But up here, they call it nudging. And like Sassy said, drinking fountains are called bubblers. And then if you really want to get crazy, go up into the UP with all the Norwegian influence up there. That's where the language changes drastically. Terminology, dialect, everything else. But anyhow, I was saying before, White Snake, that we're gonna play an interview that took place between Chin Pubes and DOA's sister.
Lovely.
And I just I think there's some observations that are worth putting out there. And like I said, I told chat, I don't know if you caught it or not, but I told chat if at some point they want to stop this and comment on it, just to make sure they say so in chat. So if you can help me keep an eye on that too, I'll try to watch for it. But I have no problem stopping it, and at any stage we can talk about or listen to commentary or otherwise.
Well, let me see if I can get chat up real quick on my other.
No, if you can, Gray, if you can, I can watch it too. So, I mean, I'll be watching it, but Yeah, Marcia, I never heard bubbler.
I'm good.
You got it?
Yep. Hi, Annie. How you doing? Everybody else as well? Yeah, bubbler. The only thing I think of a bubbler is a little water pipe, but that's just because I'm a stoner, I guess.
Yeah, more commonly known as a bong, but I think that's probably the most
Melody.
accepted out there. But I had friends from Nashville, and one day, I mean, they both had extremely thick Nashville, Tennessee, Southern type accents. But I was outside, and we lived on a cul-de-sac, and he was kind of at an angle from us, and really good people. We got to be good friends and everything else. But I was out there, I forget what we were doing. I was helping him with something, and he said, "Can you grab that hose pipe for me?" And I said, "What?" And he just said it louder. He says, "Can you grab that hose pipe for me?" It's like, what do you, hose pipe? What the hell is a hose pipe? And a hose pipe to him was a garden hose.
Ah.
But it was like speaking in French for him to call it a garden hose. It just wouldn't even come out of his mouth the right way. It's like,
Yeah, see, I would have thought like a hose bib.
Yeah,
but
yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It's like, what do you want that for? Yeah, there's a lot of crazy terminology around this country. I think that's why English is so hard for foreigners to learn, because it doesn't make sense to most people trying to learn. They say it's one of the hardest languages to learn because of all the slang. Yeah. Or just a hose. Yeah, absolutely. Garden hose or otherwise, but
yeah, I've noticed too. Not only the slang, but if it's in past tense or current, just the timing of when it occurred. It's hard for a lot of other languages to determine what the hell we're talking about.
yeah, I mean, I could probably do a whole stream on the slang that we've encountered up here. And then excuse me, it was really fun when Lisa came here from Philly, because Philly has its own language too, depending on what part of the city you live in. It has its own dialect. And coming up here to they say Yahe up here, and I think that's more of a Norwegian influence that has spilled out of the UP into the northern part of Wisconsin. But they say Yahe all the time, and that's just agreeing with somebody. Like you and I would say, right? They say Yahe. Lisa, I'll bet it wasn't a month after Lisa was here that she said, if I ever talk like that, if I ever say, if I ever say Yahe or otherwise, just slap me around or something, send me back to Philly or whatever. And I'll bet it wasn't 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks later, we were sitting there talking to this couple, and Lisa says, Yahe.
And I was like, fucking hell.
And then she was like, fucking hell, what am I doing? And she said it in a Philly accent, with the Philly twang to it. So, anyhow, it can engulf you pretty quick. There's no doubt about that. But anyhow, I'm gonna play this thing, and like I said, if you guys want to comment on it, just let me know. We can stop it wherever we need to, and we'll go from there. Well, I thought I had it all set up. Now it's gone. Well, that didn't work great. All right. All right. White Snake, you can talk to the chat for a minute. I got to figure this thing out real quick. I had it all set up.
Sure.
So give me just a minute.
Well, on a side note, I don't know how many of you guys like jalapeno poppers, but it's actually one of my favorite snacks. I just grabbed a thing of jalapeno poppers, and I was trying to get them down before David started, and didn't realize how hot it was, and burnt the tip of my tongue a little bit. Damn popper, but they're worth it. I quite enjoy me some jalapeno poppers. Melody, how have you been doing up there? Hope everything's going smooth for you. Has it seemed like this? I mean, we're already what? Today's the 18th. I mean, we're already in 26, and it is going really fast. Like I'm having a hard time even catching up. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, hopefully you start feeling better and don't have to go back there. I don't enjoy those at all. Hey, Bon Jovi, how you doing? Yeah, I anytime I can stay away from a doctor's office or hospital. It's funny. I needed to go get some blood work done, and I've been putting it off, finding every excuse possible to not go in and do it. And I finally said, okay, I'm going in and doing it. I go in and sit down in the chair, and the lady says, "Oh, well, we don't have any record of the request from your doctor." Well, I know you sent it over. She looked. Apparently, it had already been over a year that I've been putting it off. So now I have to wait till Tuesday for them to put in a request so I can get this done. I don't know what it's going to do, but at least I'll do my part.
So you're saying you're a bit of a procrastinator on that?
Yeah. Yeah, I actually, my best friend used to call me the most impatient procrastinator he ever knew. So,
you know what? I can actually kind of see that in you. I can see where it comes from. Crazy. Yeah. All right. Well, I got this. I think I got it figured out now. Like I said, I'm going to play it through. It's about a half an hour long, and we'll see how much of it we get through and how long it takes, and we'll go from there. But like I said, if you guys want to add any commentary, let us know. So here we go.
On. I'm getting caught up myself. I've gotten caught up on most of what happened. They are talking mad shit about you, Kitty. I mean, they are mad at you. Yeah. I don't know. You got Starchy, who AKA.
All right, I'm going to stop it already, just because I want you guys to catch what the response was there. The very opening to this, he waited for, I don't know, at least half hour, 45 minutes, maybe longer, for her to show up on his panel, and was really looking forward to it and all excited about it and really pumping it up and going to go the extra mile to wait and maybe even miss some of the football game in the beginning to make sure that they had this interview, that they got it in the books. So she finally comes in, and that's how he started it. They're really mad at her. Everybody's mad at her. They're really talking mad shit about you. And her response to that was, like who? Okay, so she's basically clueless on what he's talking about. Now, whether she was playing that answer, I don't know. But that was her response. when he said, "Oh, they're all mad at you. They're just talking mad shit about you." So that was the first thing that caught my attention right off the bat. I mean, this is literally the first. She had just come on, maybe less than a minute before that, and then somebody else was on the panel, and he asked them to leave so they could just be one-on-one, because he's a much better interviewer one-on-one, because that's really what he does. But yeah, her response was like, "Who?"
Sticky sticker chick, I think her name is. I don't know. She's so irrelevant to me, but she was making fun of your boobs. Look at those giant things. Why are you looking at her boobs, Starchy? For one, she says that you're horrible for not taking your brother's side. Remind.
So he's named off two things that Sticker said something about her boobs, and that she didn't like the fact that she wasn't taking her brother's side. Now, I didn't catch any of that, so I don't know if that's true or false, because I don't believe a word out of his fucking mouth anymore, because he makes more stuff up than he knows. But he made a special point to have this interview take place because of all this bad stuff, right? Listen to what he says, I think, next, but we'll see.
Me chat of some other things that she was saying, because I was not privy to seeing it. I'm just getting secondhand information, but they are really mad that you're not taking your brother's side on this whole thing.
He asked
Kitty.
chat to
let's
help him out
address
with
that
why
for
they were
one.
mad and what they had said.
So I will first, I do
Listen to this carefully.
I'm here. Let me make this clear. Let me make this.
Please
I'm
make it,
here
please make it clear.
to see my brother face the consequences of his actions.
Mm.
That is why I joined this, and to combat his lies and to stand up for myself and my family.
Okay. So that's why she's here. She wants to make sure that he's held accountable for what he's done. Doesn't say what he's done. Not one word about what he's done, in her opinion. And it sounds to me that she's kind of hedging her position now compared to how she acts normally when she goes on that channel. Because usually when I've heard her on there, it's been just shits and giggles and cat calls and explaining how horrible he is and how miserable she is because of what he's done to her, and all these other people that she absolutely knows nothing about what any of those stories are. But she didn't look intoxicated to me, just to be honest, in this situation. I don't know, not an expert on that. I didn't feel that, but quite a difference already. But I want to just give you an idea of what's coming up so you can listen for it. But it feels like she's really trying to tamp down her position on being so aggressive towards her brother, being named in all of the different things that are going on, especially on this channel. It feels to me like she's trying to step back from it a little bit. And there's different things and different statements that are made that maybe I'm wrong, but it sure feels like he's trying to lead her down a certain path.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I don't want to get that involved in the YouTube drama so yes,
Too late.
So that part's just that part made me laugh out loud, because see, I know how she got involved in the YouTube drama. I know that she came in. I don't know exactly who prompted it from the very, very beginning, but I know how she came in. she came in begging for somebody to give her a platform. It was her. It was her doing. Somebody may have said, "Hey, you need to get involved in this." Anybody out there can take credit for doing that, searching her out and saying, "Oh, you need to," but and one person already has many times taken credit for her entrance into this whole arena, which I'm pretty sure is bullshit. But 52. She was on Reddit begging. It's exactly right. And we all know the people she was begging to and what they represent, Dad, Aunt, and Dawson, all that. She was trying to get anybody to platform her. So for her to say, "I want to step away from the drama, I'm not here for the drama," horseshit, kitty. That's all you're here for. Because it's obvious you don't give a shit about anything else. But I just thought that was funny.
Making that live, Mina, you're probably a okay person.
Okay. So now Mina is probably an okay person. And if anybody has watched her, that's kind of her shtick. Is she twists words and drags words out for emphasis. And she usually has a really goofy ass look on her face when she's doing it. So that's where that comes into play. It's kind of a sideways slap.
I was like, if you want to do, like, afterwards, I was like, that's not me. Like, I could do things about my brother and everything. I don't want to, like, get involved with anyone else for that reason. If you want to say, like, mean things, tear me apart, like, I don't know. I don't want to do that. I'm only focusing on my brother. I don't want to get involved with other gossipy, like, things that aren't relative, and if they want to support my.
I think it was their sound cut out on this. I don't think that was mine. Anyhow.
Brother, that's on them.
If they want to support my brother, that's on them. But did you hear what she said? I don't want to get involved in any of the other drama stuff. I don't want to get involved with the other players in the community.
So did she not think of that before she went on Darren's show and made herself a part of Numbnuts Chin Pubes show and being a regular on there, just fabricating and talking complete disgusting shit about her brother? That wasn't a thought beforehand?
Yeah, obviously not. I think it's like I said, this whole thing feels like a big backtrack to me. I think, and I don't know why. I can make a whole lot of assumptions here. I think somebody jacked her up. Somebody probably heard what she was doing, or heard how she was talking, or what she was saying, or otherwise, or got caught wind of it somehow, and said, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I'm going to guess part of it has to do with the whole planning the trip to California and having the beach party on a nude beach and everything else. Who knows? I have no idea personally, but it sure feels like that to me. Like somebody has actually heard what she's actually fucking doing on YouTube. That she's not just in there having a nice, sweet conversation with people. That she's trashing, her brother, and she's trashing the family situation, that they have, and there's something has happened. There's no doubt about it. Will we ever know? Probably not. But something certainly has happened that she's backtracking, because this whole thing is that. And I guess the reason I wanted to come in here and do this and talk about it is because of literally how pathetic Chin Pubes is in trying to steer her to not backtrack, to convince her to think differently than what she came in here to this stream to do. Hey Z, what's going on? Glad to see you. P Unit, what's going on? But we're just listening to a Chin Pubes. We're listening to Chin Pubes DOA sister interview that was on Chin Pubes channel. And we're adding commentary, and I'll just repeat if anybody wants to stop, for anybody new that's coming in, anybody wants to stop this and have a conversation about any part of this that I don't hit on or otherwise, let me know. Just let me know, stop it in the chat, and I'll stop it and go from there. Carly's, how you doing? Kathy, how you doing? Hippie Chick. She must have seen Ghost Soldier's video. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Ghost Soldier's put out some pretty solid stuff on some of this side of this whole community, and certainly possible to get somebody's attention, because I think you can only go blindly into the night so many times without hitting your head on something where it finally wakes you up.
I personally don't, because of, again, all the harm he has caused my family, me but like, yes, me personally, and just all the shit that has done to other people. That is my focus.
Okay, so her focus is all the shit he's done to her family, not their family, but her family, and then stuttered on what he's done to me, hesitated, and then went for it. Yeah, what he's done to me. I would love to know what those things are, because 90% of the shit on that channel has nothing to do with what he's done to her or her family. Very little. And she has invited herself into and been drug into the whole story that whole channel thrives on. And it has very little to do with their family, because none of them know what the dynamic of the family is, other than some of the bullshit that she's talked about. I don't get it.
I agree, Bon Jovi. She's the one that opened that door and jumped in, and I know a lot of people that put out warnings that, hey, you might want to take a look into the individuals that you're jumping in with here. But
yeah,
to me, it gets to the point where it's like, hey, go ahead and you don't want to heed the warning. Go ahead and find out for yourself. You can only tell somebody that the stove is hot so many times before they're going to have to touch that fucking thing and get burnt to realize, yeah, that stove is hot.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder exactly what happened that with this whole thing where she got hooked up with Streets and they did an interview together and everything else, and he was promising to unleash the beast and release this interview and never did. It really makes me wonder why.
I think it didn't paint the narrative that he wanted to put out there. That's what I think personally.
I think it has partly to do with that, but I think he did come out at some point and finally said that he didn't have an RO against his niece or otherwise. He did say that part out loud, but I think it may have been more so that maybe somebody on her end caught wind of what she was looking at doing and said, no, we don't want to be brought into this little shit show that you want to jump into with both feet against your brother. That feels more right to me. Again, I don't know for a fact, wasn't there, but that's just what it felt like to me. Like she was shut down on that. And I know she talked about it, but I don't remember exactly word for word what she said, so I'm not going to comment on that. But on what she's just specifically on what she said. But there was certainly a reason for it, one way or another.
you don't have to agree with me on that. That's fine too. If you feel like it makes you better to tear how I look down, or that's on you. I don't want to go that way. I want to stay the path and focus on getting some justice or, and yeah. So that's what I wanted to say.
All right. So everything in that just last little bit is total horseshit. Just so everybody knows, it's all horseshit. Because if that were her true intention, she would have never dove headfirst into the snake pit. Just wouldn't have happened. If that was her intention, if she was trying to look at it from an elevated space, she wouldn't have dove into the fucking cesspool right out of the chute. Just my opinion. Just throwing it out there. But
Agree.
again, sounds to me, and I'm going to guess, most people here that are listening are going to agree, but it sure sounds like she's trying to backpedal pretty hard. And just I'm gonna let this play for a little bit, and you guys can get a feel for what the dynamic turns into.
Let me address a couple things here, Kitty. Number one, you are very gracious and cutting. I call her starchy. She got really upset and said that I was sexually harassing her by calling her starchy tits. There's a reason I called her that. Not because I cared about how her
You're a
tits
sick
look.
fuck.
We always say things off the cuff. Because these people have no shame themselves. So when you throw shit back in their face, they tend to not like it. And it tends to show how petty and bullshitty they are. So this whole thing started a long time ago with me and Starchy, where she got upset that I called her starchy tits, right? And she said I was sexually harassing her, which nothing could be further from the truth. And she made this AI generated short of me saying something that I never said.
Okay, just to clarify here, and he's going to go on and say that he's got the video, the actual video, and blah 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 blah. I don't think you'll ever hear him play it because it would prove
Post that shit.
Yeah, post it. Seriously, post it. Play it on your live. Because as I recall, that's not how it went down. There wasn't an AI video made to take his voice and say things that he didn't say. First of all, the person making the video is smarter than that. Second of all, when the person that you're making the video about says stupid shit, you don't have to change the wording ever. You just let it play. And see, the point of all this right now, that what I'm doing, they always talk about using DOA's words against him, and they've spread that narrative throughout the hate train community that we're doing is using his words against him. Well, that's what we're doing tonight, but we're doing it in the real sense of his words, as opposed to taking little clips of it or taking it out of context or taking a 10-second clip and forgetting what was said or done before it and after it. I don't do that. This recording, all I'm doing is stopping it and starting it. I'm not clipping anything. I record it's 30 minutes and 11 seconds, and it's from the beginning until he comes on at the end and says, if you're having trouble, email me and I'll help you. And I cut that off. So your words, Chin Pubes, against you.
And I had the original. So when you say she may be a decent person, she is not a decent person in any shape, form, or fashion.
Fuck you.
She's one of the worst, because if you can take someone with my reputation, and I have a very good reputation online, people have been following me and literally know the work that I've done. Whether
That's the funniest shit he's ever said.
It is. It really is.
homeless or whatever it is I'm doing, it's always with good intentions, right? I'm not saying I'm always right, or anything like that. But when you take somebody like that and I do say my caliber, because I know I'm a few notches above that side of the fence, right? Because of their actions, not mine, right? And the things that they've said, not me. Because remember, Kitty, when we do DT, what do? We take your brother's words, his words,
What?
not my words.
What?
Yeah.
And present them to everybody in a fun parody fashion that is, we're trying to entertain, to bring light to some of what you said, his lies and bullshit that he does all the time. Anybody that's supporting these blatant lies and bullshit deserves any shit that they get in return. All right. There are
Funny you mention that, Chin Pubes, because I just thought I'd come on tonight and just share that little jewel with everybody. We're going to hand you back what you deserve with your own words, you piece of shit. 9 months worth. Maybe I should dedicate my channel to bringing your true colors to light. What do you think? 9 months worth. I don't know. I'm having a hard time doing a couple hours worth, so 9 months is never going to fucking happen. Just so everybody knows that. I wouldn't even think about it. Not worth it. But this, his own words.
There are a bunch of people on that side, right? Starchy's one of them, who is some weird alliance with your brother. At one point, they were on opposing, like your brother was a big MAGA guy on January 6th, right? And was perpetuating all that bullshit that was going on.
Anybody want to comment on that one?
Right? And now all of a sudden he's a lefty over here in California, Kitty. I mean, contradict much? I mean, he's a walking contradiction. And for someone like Starchy to turn, from face to heel and heel to face and welcome in someone like your brother says only one thing to me, or actually a couple things, either desperation or money or both. And that's why I'm looking at this on the out.
He truly doesn't know what a friend is, does he?
He has no idea. He has no fucking clue. I mean, none. He also doesn't understand that people change. He has no idea that any human being is capable of changing from one position to another, to being accepting of one person or another at any given time. It doesn't play into his brain unless he's not live streaming. When he's not live streaming, I'm going to guess he has an idea. But see, this interview told me a whole hell of a lot more about this stupid fuck than I knew before. It identified who this guy really is. And I hope that's what everybody hears from this, is what his true colors are. Because he sure shows them off throughout this whole quote unquote interview. And the shit he's talking about, as usual, he doesn't have a clue what he's talking about. He has no idea what Scott was about January 6th. He has no idea what Sticker was like on January 6th. He has no idea, no clue whatsoever. He's too fucking lazy to do any kind of research to find out. He just goes by what certain people tell him. And considering the people that are willing to communicate with him are also, they're all on that hate train. They're just feeding a bunch of bullshit constantly. And I'm not saying that all those people are lying to him all the time, but they're certainly bullshitting them. There's no doubt in my mind that he's being bullshitted with the best of them. Just all you gotta do is listen to what he says and his takes. But I feel like I'm in the presence of greatness listening to him. He's such a high caliber of person. I think he gets into that again too, if I remember correctly. Maybe not. Maybe it was just my brain echoing that stupidity, further down the line.
Side looking in, Kitty. Like, it's one big circle jerk of people trying to make money, and gain status and power.
Yeah.
And the reason that I know that Kitty is, or not Kitty, Starchy is doing this is because she basically made your brother bend the knee to ZDT, another one of the worst on YouTube, and forced him to basically grovel at the feet of the mighty ZDT for what? For influence and power.
Yeah.
That's
Influence and power.
Starchy's game. Your
Groveling.
brother's game is grifting, right? At every turn, he stochastically mentions that, oh man, I had to buy new shocks for $1,500, and
Here's the
oh
jealousy.
man, I just got my phone stolen.
Here's
and I have
the
to buy
jealousy kicking in.
$1,500 phones and all this shit, right? He'll say he doesn't out and out ask or beg for money, but he will throw it out there, and boy, oh boy, the grannies will beckon the call, right?
Okay. How pissed off is it? I mean, just literally, how destroyed and pissed off is this guy that Scott has support? I don't, you can describe the support however you want to, but can you not hear it in every sentence he talks of how jealous he is and how pissed off he is that he doesn't have what DOA has? I mean, it's so obvious. And what's crazy is you can't tell me that the people that frequent his channel don't pick up on that too and just don't say anything, which is more pathetic than what he does himself. But yeah, he just loses his mind. He can't talk right. He gets sidetracked on what he's talking about just because he has one thought about Scott mentioning that he has to put a new shock or new shocks on the RV, and all of a sudden people are helping him, financially to do that, or somebody's making calls for him, or somebody's saying, "Hey, come up to my place and we'll do that." Because I guarantee you, no one in his chat, even dipshit Dougie, has ever said, "Yeah, come on over, I'll help you out. Hey, we'll get together, we'll do this." It doesn't happen.
Speaking of which, my car registration's due at the end of the month.
Oh, you need help with that? You can beg
No,
on you can beg on my channel for that. It's okay. I mean, I will preface that with, look, bitch, you should have known it was coming, because it's one of those things you pay every year, regardless. But you don't
Right.
grift. It's fine. Jesus.
So
Yeah.
in my mind, I'm trying to figure out, is the money so great within this group that they're all trying to get a piece of that pie, and that's what's going on?
What pie?
I mean, that's always been at the forefront of everything, is the money, right? Money, 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 money drives your brother's decisions at every turn. It's
Mhm.
always about money. So I'm wondering your thoughts on that matter, Kitty.
Can somebody please tell me what the fucking pie is? That's what I've heard him say that before, and I still don't know what he's talking about. This piece of the pie, everybody's giving Scott money because they want a piece of the pie. Is it? I mean, I don't know. I'm clueless on that. I really have no idea what he's talking about, the piece of pie. Shut your pie hole. That's a good pie. I like that, Juju. Absolutely. Shut your pie hole, Jim Pubes. There's some pie for you.
Well, Z, what they'll talk about at first is how inept the legal system is, and how screwed California is, and lenient on this, and there must be some sort of, somebody must have known somebody, or there must have been a payoff, or some bullshit like that. That's what they'll talk about.
Yeah. The other thing that I think that a lot of people in chat here are mentioning, and Kate Taylor, how you doing? They want Scott supporters in their chat. That's really, to me, that's really one of his biggest bitches. He doesn't have the balls to say that out loud to his chat, that y'all suck for never helping me, that you don't give me money. I brought up that I had to pay $600 for my car registration, and without it, I'd lose my livelihood, and my Prius would have to sit parked in the side of the house, collecting dust, and I'll have to walk to go get a gallon of milk instead of taking my car. And I won't be able to go out and give out hot dogs if my car's not registered, because I'm such a high caliber person that you wouldn't catch me on the road without car registration. And what did he get? 150 out of $600, and he got it from one person. Nobody else gave a shit about his car registration. Not one. Outside of that one person that donated the first 10 minutes he talked about it. No one else gave him a fucking nickel. Is that what pisses you off, Chin Pubes? Is it you don't have Scott's chat? You don't have all of us to make you feel like a man, to make you feel high caliber? Somehow prove you have some kind of respectable character, anything like that? Is that what it is? Yeah. Let us know if we get close. All right, Chin Pubes. Let us know.
I just, the money, if people want to support him, you can't control it. I'm concerned with the harm he has caused and is because that's not right. And the lies and the manipulation and all that is what I'm I wanted to make things straight for myself and for my family. That's my concern,
And you notice that she doesn't give a single example about any of the others. She doesn't name names. She doesn't give specifics ever. Why do you think that is, chat? Why do you think she's up here saying, always reverting back to myself and my family, even though she's talking about all the others, all these people being harmed? And any other reason why she doesn't give details of it other than the fact she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about? She's only going by what people have told her. She didn't experience any of it. Hey, always Minnie, how's it going? Good to see you. Florence, how you doing? Right? I mean, I don't think there's any other way to see that, because she doesn't know. She just doesn't know. And here, I'll throw this out now just because it's something that really pisses all of them off. She doesn't know her brother well enough to be putting this stuff out there, because she's admitted on video, and yeah, the videos are out there. Remember, the internet never dies, right, Chin Pubes? She's admitted a number of times that the way she knows about her brother is by watching some clips. At one point, she said she's never watched a full video of his, just bits and pieces. That's how she knows about her brother and what he does, by watching clips. Now, my question is she watching his videos, or is she watching DOS or Daddy or any number of others? Where's she getting this little tidbits of information from these video clips? I'm going to bet you that she's not watching his stuff. And she admitted flat out she doesn't watch it all. So she certainly can't have context about what she's watching, because fuck, every one of us knows. Everybody that I see in my chat right now, and probably 90% of you guys out there, the haters and everybody else that's watching right now from the cheap seats, when you watch one of his videos, if you don't watch at least the basic majority of it, you're gonna lose your mind, because you're gonna lose all the context, because it changes so fast from 1 minute to the next. You never know what the fuck's gonna happen, what's gonna be said, what who's gonna stop and help, or who's gonna pick up, or who's gonna go off on, or who says something in chat. I mean, you just don't know. It's just it's ever evolving. That's how I see it. It just changes all the time. It's not scatterbrain. It's just full. It's just constantly full. There's very little downtime trying to keep up with what the fuck he's doing. I'll say it that way. That's why I think he has the following he has. For people that have given the time to understand what that's all about and allow it to make sense, I think that's where his following is. But these fucking people, they hear one word. They hear one snarky comment. They hear one sarcastic remark. They hear one joke. And I don't give a shit if it's set up or not. They run with it out of context and in attack mode all the time. That's what she knows of her brother over this time period. And I've even said over the last 4 or 5 years, 4 years, I know him better than she does. And I'll guarantee you there are people in this chat right now that would say the same. Just based on what we know and what we've heard her say. No doubt about it. And it really pisses them off. And they always go to, oh, did you grow up with him? Did you go to school with him? Nope. Sure didn't. That just makes it more pathetic that she tries to claim all this stuff and has nothing to back it up. And see, I know this because I hear the stories that she repeats from the clips that she's heard. And they're just dead wrong. But the haters, they don't care about that. They just want to hear the story as told by, quote unquote, the sister. Yeah, I think the majority of people in this chat would agree. And I think the majority of people in this chat, I won't call it a majority. I'll say a bunch would feel the same way. I mean, when you don't even have to think about how wrong something is when it comes out of her mouth, that's our first indication.
Well, and from what she said, she's here because of the damage or whatever he's done to the family and to her. So that has nothing to do with his case to begin with. So justice for her is trying to find some loophole to get his bail revoked or to see him behind bars for something because of what feeling she has towards her brother and what she feels she's been wronged for. Am I understand that correctly?
Yeah, I mean that's my take on it. That's what I'm getting from her. And I'll just say, Kitty, if you're listening, that's pathetic. You should be ashamed of yourself. You get issues with a family member, take the family member on. Have make the issues big or broad as you want to. But don't go out and try and sneak in the back door of some fucking hate group that in the end might get something done that you want done. Their goal is to do that. I got news for you and everybody you jumped in the pit with. Y'all better fucking strap in, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be a wild fucking ride for you guys. Just saying.
I'll say this real quick. If you can't tell the kind of person, an individual that you're dealing with Darren, and you're going to go ahead and jump in even further, all I can say is, you're going to get what you deserve, what you're looking for at some point. And, you don't hold a fucking snake and not expect to be bitten.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not even holding a snake. No pun, white snake. It's not holding a snake. It's jumping in a whole goddamn pit of them. It's literally jumping into a snake pit or a cesspool, one, two. It doesn't matter how you look at it. Either analogy works. And I look back on this, and I look back to when Scott went to jail for that week, and there were a bunch of us, and including, again, people that are in this chat right now that knew the people that were coming in to infiltrate this whole community. And we tried to step up and warn them as to what was going on, who these people were, why they were here, what their intentions were, what the basis was, as much as possible. We tried hard, to no avail. But at least there was word there that was offered to them. This, I don't know what she was told when she jumped into this, but she sure as hell didn't hear it from the right people, whatever it was that made her make her decision. Kid in real life acts just like these people. She found her group. Yeah, it's very possible, but that might be as simple as it is. There may not be anything else to it. It might just be simply that she's found her family. She's found her clan. And, bless her heart if that's what it is.
But, I got to say this. I got to say this real quick, David.
Hey, you know what?
Honestly,
let me.
Sorry.
I got to step out for just a couple minutes here. So
All
if
right.
you want to, I'm going to mute my mic and you can run with it. You guys got it rolling. So have at it if that's okay. You all right with that?
Yeah.
Cool. See you in a minute.
Yeah, just don't leave me too long now.
How long is too long?
I'll run out of stuff to talk about.
No, you won't. Come on, chat. Crank them up. Get them going. All right, I'll be right back.
I'm just going to say this as a disclaimer, whatever, however you want to take it. Personally, I don't even like talking about Kitty. And that's not respect for her. That's respect because I consider Scott a friend, and I don't even want to have to talk about her, but I think it comes to the point where, there is stuff that needs to be said and pointed out. But if I had it my way, I would pretend like she doesn't even exist, because quite honestly, I'm not that impressed. So take that for whatever you want. And, if you didn't pay attention to the people that you were jumping in with beforehand and get to see the characters they are and their past behaviors, then I don't know what to tell you. It seems like to me, out of this, it's like, and this is the first time I've even heard this interview. But it seems to me like she wants to be able to say whatever she wants about her brother and go out there and talk about boofs and what hot dogs and all that bullshit. But she didn't realize that you reap what you sow. If you're out there, somebody's gonna say something about you. So you thought that it was just fine to go out there and try to rub your brother's nose and shit. But when somebody starts pointing out things about your own behavior and character, then I don't want to get involved in the drama. I don't want to be part of this YouTube drama, quote unquote. It's just kind of pathetic, really. And ultimately, I personally, I feel bad for the parents, really. I mean, they shouldn't have to even be thinking about any of this crap. Scott's an adult. Scott does what Scott does. and yes, he's responsible for his actions. But to go out there and start throwing your family business and what happened when you were kids and this and that, I mean, that's just, and putting up a picture of him as a teen, and that's pretty pathetic. Or going on and saying, how can we do this? How can we get his bail revoked? You know, kind of makes me, wonder what I'm just going to throw out a scenario here, but everybody knows that, during the time of the protest, people's families were getting contacted by, quote unquote, PIs. It just kind of makes me wonder, what what happened there, if anything. Well, and, I I don't know and don't really care because it's not my business, but uh, I do know that several things I've heard her say I know is bullshit firsthand. You know,
I'm back. Sorry about that. Did I leave you hanging too long, White Snake?
no.
See, and I had complete and total faith, man. I know you can go. You can run with the best of them.
Yeah, I have a PhD in bullshitology.
Nice. I tried to do that and I got flunked out. So 3 times in a row. I'm looking through some of the chat here to see what was said what we're talking about. Yeah, the main thing I can see from this already, yeah, the parents and or anyone else that's been brought into it don't deserve it. And the fact that Chin Pubes thinks it's of high caliber to try to con her into bringing the family in, and I'll throw Boss Talk into the same cesspool of tactics, because I've heard both of them say that they would like to talk to family. Get mom on there. Wouldn't it be great? Have mom come on here and talk. It's like, you piece
Those
of
are
shit.
nasty fucks.
Yeah, you piece of shit. I'll just say it. I'll just say it out loud. How dare you? Right? Every one of them, they get butthurt if somebody, like doxing. I mean, he about had a mental break from a cop calling him by his own name out on a public street. Imagine what the whole family thing would do.
I just wonder how he would feel, because I've heard him say that he doesn't get along with his family members. I wonder how he would feel if somebody, let's say, started poking around and contacting family members of his and putting them up on a panel and talking about childhood things. And I just wonder how that
He'd lose his mind. He would lose his fucking mind in a heartbeat. Every one of them would. Every single one of them that are on that panel 3 times a week would do the exact same thing. If somebody actually dug in and started talking about about his, you'd have to admit them somewhere. And yeah, Kitty's all about pity me. I feel the same way with that too. And I did hear you say, White Snake, that you don't typically like talk. I'm the same way. I don't like talking about her. But I'm sorry, you put yourself out there that far and you go that hard. Sorry, sugar. You're gonna have some coming back at you. Another thing I saw in here too that a couple people brought up was, did she get a NOSA packet? That's entirely possible. That I have not ruled that out in my mind, at least. I think it's more than possible, because again, like I've talked about on streams before, months ago. People need to stop and pay attention to who is actually in this community. So there's just, if you can't see it, you need to pay better attention. And I'm not talking to anybody in particular, but just in general. If anyone doesn't understand how deeply involved Scientology is in everything that's going on almost on a daily basis, they're not paying attention. Yeah, I agree, Z. No one cares enough about his history to look, or about him to look into his history. Yeah, I agree. And I just prefer what we're doing right now. We're using his words against him, because he's the one that said he's of such high character and high caliber person. Wasn't us saying it, that was him. And I'm not going to clip it out and just have that one little thing he said. And here's the best part of that too. I've said 1,000 times, if I've said it once, they make it too easy. He was serious when he was saying that. That delivery was serious. That wasn't parody. He wasn't kidding about what he thinks about himself and what he tries to sell other people out. Yeah, you know what? Here, I'll show this one. Butch, I think you're right on track with just about everybody here, because everybody has hesitated to even go there at all. But this interview and just the accumulation of time and what's actually been said and not said, I just had enough. And I think a lot of people have. But yeah, it could get real muddy.
I'm sorry. I don't care who I would be on panel with or be talking with, or how I felt about my sibling. If somebody was up there talking about my brother's junk, I'd tell them, you guys are fucking weird, and excuse myself from the whole circus. I guess that's just me. Maybe some people don't have morals in that sense.
I think it's obvious that a lot of them are lacking in that category just because they're able to do what they do, say the things they say, try to pass off really grotesque stuff as parody, quote unquote parody. And I mean, I don't want to harp on that whole subject, but you know, it is as far from parody as you can get. Any man that organizes a regular bitch fest about another real man, I've got nothing for. Yeah, Z, I agree. And you know, I've had this discussion with a couple people about them being irrelevant and not worth addressing, not worth paying attention to. And I'll state my position on it again. The only reason I think they're relevant is because they're a communication hub for all the hate. And they're a source of some of the insanity that's out there that you know, both DOA and a lot of us have to deal with on a daily basis. So that's where they're relevant. They're relevant through their stupidity. They're relevant through their lies. They're relevant through them assuming a position that they're not good at, but because they're not good at it, they have no boundary. And when you have something going on that has no boundary to it, it can impact others. So that's why they're relevant. What they say, what they think, the lies they tell, the stories they make up, the insanity that ensues. No, not really relevant at all. Standalone. But because they're a communication hub for all of that together, and they help spread it like a virus, that's why they're relevant. Kelly, how's it going? Glad to see you. Yeah, Butch, I can imagine. I can imagine. You're not late, Kelly. You're here. We're not done yet, so you're not late. Jenny Skipping Rocks, how you doing? Judy, I don't know if I said hi to you or not, but hi. All right, let's play some more of this. See where it goes.
Crazy weird things, and I just, again, like, I'm not gonna debate or counteract something that's completely not true. So to even acknowledge it, you're just like, oh, okay, that's bizarre.
This is why I don't get into debates about flat Earth, Kitty. I mean, you can't. There's no. What is there to debate?
Flat Earth.
To me, there's not. I mean, the science is there. If you want to learn, go learn. You know, I'm not here to teach you. You know, I mean, you got to do that on your own. You got to want to have an open mind enough to understand that the Earth is not flat. It's one of the dumbest things I think I've ever heard any group of people try to portray to the. When I heard your brother was a flat earther, Kitty, that is all I needed to know about.
Okay, I just want to remind everyone. First of all, he's never heard her brother say he's a flat earther. He's never heard her brother talk about the Earth being flat. He's never heard her brother talk about the basis for any thought process about the Earth being flat. What he's going off of is information from 10 or 11 years ago. 10 or 11 years ago. I mean, in internet years or internet time, that's like 100 years ago, right? I guarantee you, it's got to be some kind of number like that. The amount of information that a human being has to absorb if they're on the internet too much has to be a 10-to-1 equivalent of what normal information absorption would be. So again, it goes back to the whole premise that they paint specifically about DOA is that he has not changed, he has not evolved, he has not developed different opinions, he's not learned, he's not allowed himself to absorb any other information other than what he had 10 years ago. And they run with it, just like he's doing right now. As soon as he heard he's a flat earther, he's not a flat earther, you stupid fuck. Maybe if you asked him that, you'd find out. But here's the problem with that, is if he asked DOA if you're a flat earther, if he's a flat earther, I'm guessing DOA would say, of course I am. And then it's off to the races. See, he said it himself. I've got the video and I'm going to replay it 4,000 times in the next 9 months. He said it out of his own mouth. We're using his own words against him. Jesus. Thick.
Your brother.
That's
Yeah.
all, that's all you need. And
That's all you need. There you go.
yeah, so I just want to step away from that and
What?
just continue to just focus
Step
on
away.
and not get involved in the YouTube drama. I mean, they
Right.
can
That's why I'm on your channel right now,
they can say
Chimp.
what they want to say.
I don't want to be involved in the internet drama.
I know who I am as a person. I know why I'm doing this. You can think there's all these other different reasons, but I'm going to continue to do what I'm going to do. And
Which
see
is what?
justice for what my brother has done and
Yeah.
to stand up for that. So
What has he
Yeah.
done?
It's funny you mentioned that, Kitty, because I went on a rant earlier. There's this person that keeps trying to chide me into getting into this verbal online war with ZDT, right?
yeah,
And
This is all- this
never
is all
take
a lie,
blame,
by the
right?
way.
I don't worry about that because
Guarantee you this is all a
because
lie.
I don't need to, right? You're not going to sit here and dictate what I do on my channel. He says, well, silence is complicity. You're the biggest simp for ZDT, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, if that's the case, you're a hypocrite. Why don't you?
I bet you somebody said this to him 6 months ago. probably one comment, maybe one sentence. You ought to go out. You ought to go after ZDT. You ought to get into it with him, or silence is complicit. I guarantee it was something like that. Somebody said something to him almost probably off the cuff 6 months ago, and he's still trying to make it out to be that it's ongoing and overbearing.
I know you have a YouTube channel. Go on your YouTube channel, produce content, and then go after them. So it works both ways, right? You're complicit because you're not doing it, right? That's so stupid of me to say. You can have your own opinions. I've been on this channel several times and have said what I needed to say. And it's the bare minimum because I don't care two shits about ZDT, right? I think he's an awful human being. One time he made a good point about.
Okay, listen to the passion in his voice now when he's talking about himself and an issue with himself. It's almost like he forgets why she's there on his channel right now.
I got a question.
Yes.
The fuck does this have to do with the topic they're talking about?
Nothing. It has to do with him. That's my point. Listen to the change in his voice, the different the tones that he's using, the energy he puts into saying what he's saying now, because this is something that draws light to him, not her, not to the situation, but to him. This is where he gets sidetracked on himself. This is the second time just in 11 minutes and 40 seconds so far. The first time was talking about his high caliber moral fiber, and now he's above that. And somebody just said a minute ago, I don't forget who it was in chat here, but said it's kind of pathetic how she's trying to live through him and what he's done and accomplished, and I see that quite a bit through what she says, how she reacts. It's pretty obvious.
Chicana about how she was kind of a PDF supporter, and it's absolutely true. And I made a whole.
Okay, gonna stop you right there, you stupid bitch. This is the thing that I hope you end up behind bars for yourself. Talk about defamation. When you say things on a channel, how many subscribers do you have now, Mr. Braggart? 6,500, 6,600. He says I don't know if he says it on here or not, but he said he was like 20 away from passing DOA. I was going to buy DOA some subscribers myself just to piss this guy off, but that's a whole different story. I don't know. I just, there's so many different angles on this that I want to be able to share with you guys. I could go off for hours about his position on this stuff and how he comes up with it and what he said the last time, because I've regretfully, watched far too much of this nonsense. But what it did is it educated me and also allowed me to see how hypocritical and how absurd this whole quote unquote interview was. But bitch, talking about Chi that way. Yeah, I hope you see what's coming to you on something like that, because maybe someday we can have a personal conversation about that. What do you think?
Dream about, was ZDT right about this particular subject? And a bunch of things can be true at the same time, right, Kitty? This blows people's minds.
Yeah.
You can be right about one thing, but you can be an absolute utter piece of trash, right?
Okay.
I mean, even a broken clock is right twice a day. So when I point out that doesn't mean I'm supporting the person. I'm supporting the point, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he would have said something about, he said several things about your brother that was true, and And your brother has
Like
actually
what?
said some things about ZDT that were true.
Like
I
what?
mean, yeah, like I said, a broken clock can be right twice a day. I'm not sitting here trying to create drama, right? The drama
No,
is
you're not. Of course
already
you're not.
there. I just point out the absurdity. And I use these people's words against them, and it drives them fucking crazy, Kitty.
Yeah.
They cannot stand the fact that I'm making content off of their own stupidity, lies, demented feelings, whatever you want to call it, that they have. I mean, the other day,
Okay. So while you're on that subject, Jim Pubes, I really hope you're listening and watching this stream, because guess what the fuck is happening right at this very minute? we're returning the favor back to you, bitch. Your puny little low caliber self. We're returning the favor to you with your own words. Fucking moron.
your brother out and out lied, saying that those weren't his hands that were making the tamales.
Oh man.
Right.
Anybody? He's taken issue with DOA saying that those weren't his hands in the video making the tamales. Anybody remember all that? This is how moronic these people are. This is the lack of context they have. Their brain doesn't comprehend anything properly. Nothing. I mean, nothing. Yeah, they take everything literal. Every word, every motion, every action. But it's just, yeah, right, Z? It's hard. It's hard to comprehend how I mean, I don't know. I hope somebody intervenes if I ever get to that point where I can see the world through these weird lenses, you know? Because it's constant.
Melody, I will agree with that.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's bizarre. Anyhow, shall we continue?
Yeah, know his fat, chubby little hands and what they look
They know
like
his
after
hands.
Hours and hours of looking at this fool doing what he does, Kitty.
They know his hands after hours and hours of looking at what he does. His words now, again, let's pay attention to his words. They know his hands after hours and hours of watching what he does. What is the one thing that this little twit claims all the time? Anybody? No, I'll tell you, since I know a lot of you guys don't watch him. He claims that he watches very little of what DOA does. Very little. And yet he makes comments like this all the time with passion, with great passion. How could we not know those are your hands? We watch you all the time. See, Chin Pubes, you see how that works? Your words against you? You little twit. Pay attention.
I mean, yeah, it's absurd to like not own up to certain things, and your brother never seems to own up to anything. Everybody else is wrong.
Yeah.
Only he is right.
Yes.
That's his
So
word.
that's what I want to focus on. Like
Yep.
that's like continue calling him out, continue saying like, no, that's not right. Continue being like, you know,
Can we have some
maybe think about
examples,
changing
Kitty?
your ways and stuff. All this other things are, I'm not doing it. Like I'm not going to get into it. I had a
Again,
moment and then I reflected and I was like,
she's backtracking.
that's not me really. I don't know.
I'll just say this real quick too. This moment of reflection for her, this whole backtrack thing she's doing, this was the morning after Sticker put her stream out. Again, I didn't catch it. I don't know what all she said, but apparently it was pretty direct, and I'm going to assume that it kind of dug deep, because that's when this happened, was the next morning. But still, not a single fucking detail, not one. All those things, all those people, all those times, all this, all that, but never anything specific.
These other people, I only know them on an online thing.
Hey, Kelly.
And yeah, you know, if she feels like she needs to sit there and spend her time looking at old videos of me, and I don't know,
I know what you just said. Crazy. You only know her from an online thing. Guess what? You only know your brother from a partial online thing over the last 4 or 5 years, if not longer. That's it. And once again, your words, Kitty, not mine, not anyone else's. You're the one that said that. Yeah, I've got the videos for all of it. Because, see, I don't lie. I don't bullshit. It is what it is. There's no reason for me to bullshit about it. I had no skin in that game. You said all that. Bits and pieces.
part like that's on her. That's her.
Right.
That's not me. Like I don't, just focus on my brother. So yeah, all that other stuff. I'm working on other things in my life. I'm doing other things. So this is just a little mini world, mini universe that
people think, Kitty, that when I get off of the air from doing DT, that I'm sitting there scheming and doing all these hours and hours and hours and hours of prep. And I do work.
Yeah, we don't think that. We know that. We absolutely fucking know that, because you are 24/7 obsessed with this guy, another adult male. You are 24/7 obsessed with him, because here's the reason we know this for fact. You have a YouTube channel that is dedicated 3 days a week plus a shit show on a Saturday for the last 9 months. You pathetic piece of shit. That's how we know. You are so obsessed with him. You are so jealous of him. You're so feeling inadequate because of what he has and what he gets, and the responses he gets from his chat and everything else. You know it's real, and you don't have that. Yeah, your obsession is real, dude. Don't try and bullshit people that are seeing it, because it's out there. You put the evidence out yourself. Your own words, sweetheart.
Work beyond what I do on the air, but I'm not sitting here obsessing over your brother.
Yes, you are.
Or anything other than to say I do find his words and present them to everybody. It's the easiest thing in the world to do.
After you manipulate them.
Any one of his streams, find a transcript or transcribe it yourself on one of these programs, and find words that are just absurd, and go from there. It basically, the show basically writes itself, Kitty. It basically, all we have to do is take our talent, because I think everybody on the panel is very talented. He does ads, I do ads. He does
Pure talent.
Sorry. Oh my God. I mean, how moronic is this little diatribe he's on now? The show writes itself. Now, this is as bad as him when they were taking a break. He was saying, "Oh, we're going to be on hiatus." The fuck, hiatus. And the talent is endless. Chin Pubes, Dipshit Dougie, Flea, And out of all of them, I don't think Flea fits in as quite as well as the rest of them do. And Becky. Those are the regulars. And now Kitty, of course. Those are the regulars. Where's the talent you're talking about, Chin Pubes? What talent are you bragging about here? Are you talking about the songs you guys come up with? These ads that you come up with? And anybody that watches has watched any of these things, he plays these little I don't know what they're called, little MP3s or whatever the little cartoon, they call them cartoons, whatever. But he refers to cartoonist. I'm betting $1 that he's the cartoonist, by the way. Just want to throw that out there. Because the absurdity of the cartoons match his absurdity. I mean, his caliber. That's what I meant to say, caliber, not absurdity. Sorry. My apologies. He's the cartoonist.
You're very funny when you're on here like that. The first time, I'll never forget, first time you appeared on here with the hat and, you know, you're just doing this shtick. It was perfect. It was a perfect compliment.
All right, I'm stopping this not for any other reason, but I want to respond to chat. DECP 2011. I'm sorry, this is why I had to kind of step away. I was tired of all these people using Scott and not being able to truly help him. I want to make a plaque out of that. I really do, because I promise you, you are not alone in that. I think that's what his chat is about, is people that used rational thought and rational minds to analyze what they were seeing, what they were experiencing, what they were feeling, and everything about what was going on this whole time, and then kind of feeling helpless about not being able to do anything about it. And it's not that, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't think that he's in this position, the things that you want to help him with is not because of these fools. It's because of the collective of everything, of Scientology and LAPD and everything else that's gone on. His participation in this, the way he does it, and everything else. If I'm wrong with that, I apologize, but I think that it seems like that's what you're talking about. And then having these fools constantly piling on top of all that, I can understand why a lot of people stepped away. Of course, if you ask them, anybody that has stepped away, they did that because of what DOA did to them, how DOA was acting, how DOA was talking. That's their shtick. That's their whole premise. When in reality, it's just not true. So I appreciate that comment.
To everything that we had done on the show to that point, you know, and it's, to me, this show is pointing the blueprint on how to handle your brother. Nobody else really got it. They were upset at your brother. They would show their anger, and he would just feed into that anger, and that's where he would get his content. He has no answer for humor. He cannot get it. There's no getting it through his thick skull that this is parody. It's satire on his own commentary.
Because it's not parody or satire,
actually,
dumbass.
In my eyes, the people on the show are absolutely for picking up on it, and our chat is brilliant for also picking up on it, and our subscribers. And
he really tries to sell it, doesn't he? It's amazing how he tries to sell it, because it's, you know, people talk about other people projecting. I just, it's hard to describe through a rational thought process, because it's just irrational, every bit of it. Everything he's talking about is, and maybe that's what they think parody and satire represent, is falsehoods and you know, opposites and delusional stuff. Maybe that's what they think parody and satire is supposed to be.
Well, from what I understand, he didn't think that my parody was funny or amusing. So
No, he didn't. He didn't care for it. And I'm blocked all across in his chat. Otherwise, I would have went in and told him it was the funniest fucking thing I've seen in a long time. Because it was. And, it's a collection of it all, and being a real friend and standing with him and feeling like I was being pushed out all around. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that's the way it felt and that's the way it came across. And I'm not going to deny that a lot of people felt like that, because, to be honest, there were a lot of times here that it wasn't just dealing with stupidity. It was dealing with hateful things and people making assumptions and jumping to conclusions and picking sides. And when that happens, I think that people lose sight of what's real and what's important. Not to a level of delusion like these guys are, but in a serious fashion. Like what you've done for him and with him. I don't know that a lot of people at certain points were able to comprehend the importance of that stuff. And, I'm not going to speak for anyone else, but myself, I tried my damnedest to be consistent and observant, helpful, and all that stuff. Certainly not helpful to everybody, because that's just not a possibility. But I think that those things are important when you have a group of people that have the same objectives, but maybe have different angles to do it. I mean, I'll be the best person, but I'm the person you want to see in your corner when shit hits the fan. You know what? Anybody that would argue with that statement is a fool. Anyone that knows enough to know where that comes from, that would argue with that, is a fool. I agree with you 1,000% on that. And again, it really sucks that things got so out of hand at certain points through this last couple of years, that people like yourself and others felt the same way, or in their own way. Because I don't think there was ever any intent of that stuff to come out and come down the way it does. But I think the people around here in this group have been pretty sincere, and maybe misguided at times because of just how insane everything was. But I truly believe
I agree with that.
Yeah,
Real dreamscape.
it's hard to watch your real friends make mistakes, but real friends hang around. Yeah, 100%. And try to help them smarten up, and try to help them see, where they do make mistakes or otherwise. I agree too. I truly believe there's no way to reach them. They're so caught up in their hate. Yeah, as far as these fools, yeah, absolutely. There's the stream I did the other night, there's a real parallel going on here. And it drives me crazy to hear people talk about, their political position and then do some of the shit that they're doing. And the other hilarious part is they're so outspoken and so outrageous about their misconceptions. If they really knew who the people were that were hanging out with them and what their positions are, and the caliber of people, to use that word, they wouldn't, in any other circumstance, they wouldn't be around those people at all. And it's just nuts. All right, let's see what other gems we have pop out of this thing. We're over halfway through it, just so you know. Feels like it's been 8 hours of this crap, but
just it just has steamrolled into this wonderful show of pure entertainment.
Oh my God.
They tried it. Your brother tried it, Kitty. There was a skit that he tried with Chi Chicana. I don't know if you ever saw that.
No, I didn't. No.
Oh, it was. I mean, it was awesome. I'll show you a picture here. Hold on. Let me bring this one up. And this is a picture that I mocked up. But see, I made this picture in response to your brother wearing these ridiculous.
I'm just turning this down just a little bit because what he's talking about now is irrelevant because he's putting one of his stupid pictures up. What's funny is they think they could destroy what Scott's built without knowing the true foundation of character. Once again, another one for a plaque. You know, the statements are true, and knowing where they come from makes them even that more powerful. You know, that's where the majority of these people, they lose the plot. And the reason they lose the plot is because they have no idea what true character is. They have no idea what it takes to maintain any sense of true character. As, you know, illustrated through the stupidity on this channel.
Like, you know, to give a platform to a lot of the people who have come forward and been like, this guy like screwed me over, you know, and threatened me and harassed me and like all this really dumb shit that, you know,
Be
we're
specific.
not okay with.
How
Like,
did he do
no
it? Who did he do it to?
you know,
Come on, Kitty.
And
Give us some
I just don't
details.
know why he
please.
doesn't see that, because it's 100 people. I
Mm,
don't know anyone else who has 100 people against him.
100 people.
And it's been years,
Nice.
years that he's screwed over people. Like,
Yeah. Like who?
yeah.
Like what?
And
Be
yeah,
specific.
it's like I don't threaten I don't want to dox other people. I don't want to threaten other people. Like, he's done that to me. I'm not gonna do it. That's not who I am. Like,
Yes, sir. I know that completely.
so
I do
You
know
what's
that.
funny,
Yeah.
Kitty, is they had a meltdown because I actually showed a partial license plate of the vehicle.
We had a
that's
meltdown,
driving
everybody.
around right now.
We were
See,
melting
here's
down
another-
over the
here's
license
another
plate.
thing that your brother lied on right away, and everybody on
This
our
is
side picked
hilarious.
up on it. And really, nobody on his side picked on it because they follow the leader, right? They
mhm.
don't care.
Are you guys hearing what he's saying here?
It's the whole I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and get away with it type of thing with him, right? Well,
Yeah.
he made a lie, and I knew immediately it was a lie that he had gotten a car, right?
Hmm.
A brand new 2025 Ford Mustang electric vehicle. I mean, first of all, no vehicle comes out of there with the license plate,
No.
right?
Oh.
Out of the dealership with the license plate. That's
Yeah.
not how that works. you know?
No. Not at all.
Second of all, where did you get the money? You know, I mean, an electric vehicle costs quite a bit of money. That vehicle in particular was in the realm of $35,000-$40,000, depending on how you had it stocked. So where'd you get $40K, Scott? You know, I mean, it was a lie. You know, he was obviously borrowing that car from somebody, whatever. I don't even give a shit who the car belongs to. I mean, if
But
you wanted
why are you making all these things up
I
to
know.
make yourself feel better?
Okay. Anybody want to answer that? Why are you making all these things up? That was the question. Why is DOA making all these things up? It's a one-word answer. Let me see. It's 5 letters. Starts with a T.
Oh, trolling morons like yourself there. Little
There you go, Juju.
facial hair. Because you guys are sitting here talking about it. That's why. And furthermore, you took it upon yourself to go ahead and research a partial plate. Throw that at take the time. Somebody took the time to go ahead and number one, be watching so closely that they could catch some nut plate numbers off the plate, and then take it even further to go ahead into real life and go ahead and try to get information off of that to use against somebody. Like,
Yeah. Absolutely. Hey, Red, I'm not dropping a link for you. You ought to know that. You're not coming on my panel. You want to sit and watch, you want to chat without saying a bunch of really stupid shit, you're welcome to it, but you're not coming on my panel. Sorry, dude. Anyhow,
I'd have to leave.
the whole thing is, it was a troll. It's magic. Thank you. I was waiting for one of the words to come out. It's magic. And I mean, they don't comprehend the level of absurdity that's thrown out there, that they swallow it hook, line, and sinker. Hey, Red, you can stay in here and like I said, participate, but I have no problem banning it from my channel, just so you know. So it's up to you. I don't care. Talk about irrelevant. But yeah, there's so much over the last 9 months. And here's the best part of it is this guy, Chin Pubes, is convinced that he has some impact and control over every single thing that Scott does. That Scott pays so much attention to him, gives him so much worth, that he does things in retaliation and in response to whatever Chin Pubes does. And that's, again, that the definition of that, they're making it too easy. I mean, I did it the last time I was on a stream with Scott, the whole simp gimp thing. I said, I'm the best simp gimp in the world. You know how many times this stupid son of a bitch has played that clip on his channel since I said that? At least 50 to 100 times. And the only reason I said it is because I knew he was going to clip it and play it on his channel. I wish I would have said it out loud at the time. He still would have clipped it and played it. Because that's the worth of what they have, what they do. It's crazy.
Because we all know it's a lie. So it makes it even more depressing, or like,
Yeah. Yeah. So
you don't have to do that. You can choose to do a different way of your life. Like, it's just so, it's frustrating too. And yeah, this is probably my outlet of hearing all this shit for years and being like, oh my God, like, what the hell, you know? But yeah, I just, again, want to reiterate, because I gotta do some more stuff over here and stuff.
yeah.
But that, you know, to focus on my brother, the other people, I don't know. Again, like, I don't know who they are. They don't seem like nice people, and it's not people that I want to be involved with. So,
Okay, so she's talking about all of us, that we don't seem like nice people, and she doesn't want to be involved with us. But she's more than willing to go hang out in California and drink some alcohol and hang out and have a grand old time with Boss Talk and any other number of these people that she's cozying up with. Kind of proves she's not paying attention. Kind of proves she doesn't really know any more about those people than I think she knows about her brother. And see, I can say that because I have a pretty good amount of comprehension of what the past 2 to 4 years is all about, from being a part of it, interacting with it, not just little snippets of time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He does everything for these people to react to, and it is funny, and especially how deep they swallow it. And it doesn't matter what it is. And I can tell you, it's not just him. It's everybody. They hear anything, they see anything in chat that they can twist around, they can distort, they can eliminate and erase the context of, and just put the words themselves, which they focus on so much, these words, quote unquote words. That's what they do. They thrive on that shit. And they fake laugh about it. And then they get serious and tell how they really feel. And in the end, they all look like idiots. And like I said, with all the court stuff, which is what their focus is, 2 to 20 years, my only advice to them is, hey, fucking strap in. You're going to need it. Because you're going to get tossed around through this process, I think. No magic involved.
That's very good thinking there, Kitty, and you're absolutely correct. These are not people that any of us really want to be involved with. I just happen to be involved with them because they inserted themselves into this whole thing, and they keep trying to chide me to like
Judy, if you don't stop spelling my name wrong, I'm going to ban you from my chat. I just want you to know that. I mean, we've been in chats for a long fucking time, and I mean, it's not like I've got some, Scandinavian weird name or anything. I mean, come on now. Don't make me ban you from my chat.
It's okay, Judy. I call him that all the time.
What? You call them what? Assholes? Is that what you're saying? Lisa says it's okay. She calls me that all the time. I'm not sure what she's getting at, but I don't want to go there. Yeah. All right, Jody. All right, Julie. Two can play that game, woman. All right, shall we?
Sticker in particular, man, she was really simping hard, big time for me to do DT, because we were doing DT on certain people like Reese, and I think I did week with Laura, and certain other people that really deserve the DT treatment, as I call it, Kitty. Your brother being at the forefront, obviously, for 9 months we've been doing this content, but it's valid because he continues to do the things that he does, and for me, it's personal. Because he took one of my best friends and he made her feel so tiny that she wanted to unalive herself.
And that's not right. And that's not okay. And that's why we're here.
Okay, that's not right. That's not okay. And that's why we're here. Give me one fucking detail about that, Kitty.
And it's complete bullshit.
Yeah. Give me one detail about that whole thing he's talking about right now. Playing his little fucking sad game. Tell me one detail about it. Come on here right now. Maybe somebody's told you that we're on here talking about this. Come on here right now and tell us one fucking detail about that whole scenario. Seriously. Oh, and just as a side note, Newfie, if you're listening, come in here and talk to me about your house. Talk to me about your cupboards. Talk to me about how chicken shit I am to talk to you. I think it would be a ball. So come on, Newfie. Let's hear it. Anyhow, yeah, I want to hear details from Kitty. Just once. I would love to have her back up what she's saying with all these generic comments that slam her brother. Include one detail in any of it. Doesn't happen. Unless it's from when he was 9. And he smashed her door down with his giant gnashing teeth, chewing at the door frame at the same time. Details matter.
And so if they want to use me as if they don't have any content, and because I was like, oh, what did I just all of a sudden I'm very popular. I was like,
sorry, Newfie, we got ice. Here, Newfie. We have ice. Come and get it.
I doubt she even knows her name at this hour.
Yeah, I was going to say, we might be beyond the reachable point.
Been on here for now 6 months or 4 months or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't want to go down to the level that is a low frequency. Spend time and pick someone that you don't even know apart.
Yeah, right.
for no reason.
Scott could turn on his camera and have 200 to 300 people watching him paint. It's not he
Well,
could,
I'm on
he
a high
has.
frequency. I gotta
That's happened a
listen,
number of
you know.
times. Back when he had the Astro, and then also, you know, the house paint to the RV.
Let me wrap this up real quick.
Yeah,
With Chad,
guaranteed.
And then I'm going to give you the floor for a second, Kitty, and then
Sure
and
you
I'll
are.
end it because I mean it was a pleasure having you here. It's always a real pleasure. By the way, your hair is today.
Oh,
Your
yeah.
hair is awesome today.
Okay. Y'all hear that? Always a pleasure having you here. Enjoy it. Glad you could stop in. And by the way, your hair is banging today. And I wish I wish I could play the video of this. If you guys want to see it, I'm sure it's still up, but this is all right toward the end of that stream, the very end, the last 30 minutes of it. The look on her face when he said that was really the funniest thing of the whole stream. Because she was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean my hair is banging?" It's almost it looked to me like she was almost going to say, "I just got out of bed. My hair's for shit right now. What are you talking about? My hair's banging." But where does that come from? What part of his simple little fucking brain does he pull that kind of statement from, that kind of comment from, as he's ending this interview? I don't get it. Hey, Scott, how's it going? I just don't understand where that comes from. How do you switch out of a conversation about the person you hate the most in the world to, oh, and by the way, your hair's banging? Yeah,
Flattering.
she was shocked. I can tell you that much. You could tell by the look on her face and her reaction, like, huh? The fuck?
Great. The black is awesome. It's just a great
Oh, the
color.
black is awesome.
Let's see. Denise says, "Hope Flat Susan is okay." Oh, that was a whole thing, Flat Susan, because
Right,
your
look.
brother at one point, he was like antagonizing that guy that was dressed as Ghostface from Scream at an anti-ice rally, I believe it
Oh,
was.
and you
in the
ran
States.
into someone?
Well, yeah, he was running. Help! He's got a knife. He's got a knife, which could have killed that guy, by the way.
Oh my god, this narrative is so
What
fucking
disruption
stale.
to a legit protest for people who got the courage, got out of their houses, came onto the street, like wanted to hear their voices, and you get this dummy screaming, running into people, putting another person in harm's way, like to draw the attention off of the protest and back to himself.
Right. For all those that watch that live,
What up, Scott?
go ahead.
Sorry, I was just saying hi to Scott.
Oh, yeah. For anyone that watched that live or even watched it on replay or otherwise, and knowing any of the history, just little tidbit of DOA going to protest and everything else, why he goes, what that particular one was about or otherwise, what that scenario led to another one. Does anyone agree with anything that she just said as far as what it was about, what he was doing, what, the danger he created to somebody else? Again, not identifying who. Is she talking about the Scream guy? Is she talking about anybody in general? Is she talking about the girl? Again, no details. And she has no fucking clue about that day. None. She's only going by the hate talk that she's heard people talk about. You see, Kitty, this is the problem you have, is that you're not credible because you don't know. You're trying to laughy bullshit your way through this. And aside from the hate train, which is useless to you, just so you know, because they don't give two fucks about you. I promise you, they give two fucks about you, sister or not. You're not coming across as credible at all. Because see, we all saw that. We knew what led up to it. We knew what he was doing the day before and the day after. And we support what he does, why he does it, how he does it. We're not saying it's perfect. Not saying he makes the best decisions all the time, because fuck, he doesn't. He'll admit that too. There's people in this chat right now that I guarantee you has chewed his ass for things. I promise you that. I can say that with great confidence. But at least we know what the fuck we're talking about. And we're not making it up. We're not just spitballing as we go for chuckles and admiration and compliments on our black hair out of nowhere. How many times has he been on national news because he went to other protests and spread his word? Countless times for that. And they mock that too. They think it's a joke that he does that it's cowardly that he does that. And the reason why, they don't understand the context of why he does it. Why don't they understand the context? Because they never watch from beginning to end, from day to day, week to week. They don't. And so I said before, if you don't pay attention, you're going to be lost. I guarantee you. There are people that follow him all the time, that if they miss a couple of days and come back into it, they might be lost. Hell, if you catch the first part of a stream and not the second part, you might be lost, because there's a lot to them. There's a lot of complexity to it. But they try to sell it as everything but that. So, anyhow, let's finish this.
Dastardly. That's a good point. Why would someone bring a knife, fake or real, to a protest anyways?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the thing is, we've had this conversation, we've gone through this all, and we've analyzed what was going on there, and the reasons for a lot of that stuff happening. And I think it came to some pretty reasonable conclusions, a couple of unknowns, and that was rational. But these guys, they keep bringing it up, just like she just did, in the same tenor that all these other people have that have lied about it. All the haters, that's all they've got. And they don't understand that question, because their answer to that, White Snake, is very simple. It was a fake knife. It was theater. That's it.
Yeah.
That's their answer. And the reason those are the answers that you get from these people about this stuff is because they don't have context to go along to fill in the gaps of what their answer is. That's why their answers and responses are so simpleton, because they have no idea what the context is. Hey, thanks for stopping in, man. Appreciate it. Good to see you. I hope you come back in. I won't ask you to go on a panel, because I know that's not what your thing is, but really appreciate you being in here.
Yeah, have a good night.
But yeah, I mean, that's why all this stuff is so simple to identify for what it really is because it contains no context, because they absorb no context when they take it in. If that makes sense, it just what they take in is what they put out, and they only take in a very minimal part of the overall story or otherwise. And that's all they can get out of their head, because there's nothing else to connect for the lack of a better, analogy, there's no better comparison or better thing to connect the dots for them. There's not enough information. So it's just a bunch of scatterbrained thoughts. And, when you have that, you usually don't make much sense. But there we go.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So he ran into this lady, and so we call her Flat Susan. That's where Denise brings that up. Let's see, what else do we got here? CBF says, "Who is DOA?" Keep DOA in prison. Stage says, "Kitty, you're brave as fuck and handling this with grace and wonderful character, 100%." Drifter War said Slappy did a video before borrowing that car where he made out that he was getting a credit check and applying for a loan. We all know he has 0 credit rating with all those unpaid parking lots. Yep. Danny's Pink says I support all protesters. Okay.
We'll
Danny
just share
says,
some of the
"Kitty, take
stupidity in
the
this chat here.
dummy and all of Scott's brain dead groupies with a grain of salt and laugh." Well, that's what we do on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. That's all we do, Danny's. I mean, we just laugh at the absurdity because he's an idiot.
No, it's not
I
what you
hope
do.
Kitty knows we are always here for. I think she knows. I mean, she's got a warm, welcoming.
Kitty just backed away from your ass, dude.
If she didn't know,
Kitty doesn't know that because that's why she's backing away.
for sure. So
That's why she backtracked the whole time since she was on there.
Let's see.
Let's see.
Kitty has taken the high road. We admire her for that. Let's see if Sticker sees that as a victory and gloats about it, which would be taking the. Oh, she's low class anyways, Drifter. I have no problem saying it. She can come after me all she wants. I don't give a fuck. I don't have anything to hide.
Oh my God, you're so butthurt.
I mean, this is a chick that took my words and twisted them with AI to say something.
Okay, first of all, no, she did not. Quit lying, piece of shit. Play the fucking video. You said you had the whole thing that shows the words. Play it. I dare you. Play it on your channel. Double dare you. Anybody have any kind of comic reference here? You know, he's into the comic stuff. Maybe I can find out a different way to phrase that to get him actually to do it. But it's so funny. He says, let her go ahead. It doesn't bother me. Oh my God. If you guys could see how butthurt this dude gets from anybody saying anything, even remotely opposite of how he sees himself, it's hilarious. Real men don't do that, do they? White Snake, do real men do that? I don't know. I don't think so. Don't tell me you fell asleep. You passed out, White Snake.
No, I'm just sitting here thinking. The only thing I can think is this guy's the definition of a fucking dirtbag. I mean, that's just
a very puny, weak dirtbag.
Yeah, just a pile of shit.
Yeah. And what's hilarious is right now, just coming on here, you know, going over his own words. I've had more people in this chat tonight than he has on a regular basis on his 6,500 sub channel that runs 3 days a week and shit show on Saturdays. Just throwing that out there. Chin pubes. Me and my puny corner of the internet.
I don't care if he has 1 million subs. It doesn't make him any less of a shitball.
Yeah, absolutely. Danny's Impact. Hey, you beautiful people. This is fucking boring. See y'all later. Keep thinking of me all night long. Anyways, have a good night, y'all. I have better things to do than watch this nonsense. Really? And you came in here just to say that? Is that Danny? Or is that somebody else? Anybody know? That's somebody I would love to have come up on panel. Danny. That's an open invitation, buddy.
The real Danny.
Yeah, it is.
The real Danny. Come on up on the panel here with me, Danny. Let's have a chat. Just you and me. We don't even have to have chat on. Just you. Came in.
Now
just
that's the definition of a cuck.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say. Absolutely. Much more so. But yeah, Danny, if that's Danny, and I don't know if it is or not. I don't really give a shit, but
You're saying, yeah, Danny.
yeah. Come on up on the panel. I'll get you the link somehow. I might still have your phone number. Remember back when you weren't such a dickwad and you and I exchanged numbers? Remember that? You don't want to tell people that now, though, do you? Open invitation, Danny. Anytime. Let me know. I think
I got some drywall for you to tape for me there, buddy.
Uh-oh. Don't We don't drywall now. Come on now. Yeah, I'll just leave that out there. Come on up anytime, Danny. Let's see how it works out.
So
Why
I
the
love
hell
her
come
with
in?
that short back.
What? Oh, why the hell come in and say that?
Why come in just to say that?
If you want if you really want an explanation for it, I can tell you.
Just makes them look stupid.
It goes back to exactly what I just said a couple minutes ago. It has nothing to do with him being lack of character or anything else. It's the fact that he lives his life without context. He doesn't understand the context of what's going on around him.
It
And
just makes
especially,
them look idiotic.
it doesn't make him look idiotic, but it's because he lacks context in everything that's happening in his world around him. And therefore, he has no way to put things out that make sense to the rest of the world that does understand
No,
context.
you know what?
What?
I get it.
Okay.
He had to come in the chat to say that to feel relevant.
To feel relevant. Yeah, I'm sure that's what it was, but or somebody put him up to it, and these people are really influenced by others very easily. But again, the main thing is that that's what they've got. They have nothing else because they don't understand what's happening around them. It's so many different levels. If you don't, Jenny, they're not in here anymore. They were in here once. Might be able to scroll up and see it. I don't know. Danny has the intelligence of a turkey. No, Danny has the intelligence of a turkey gizzard. Grinding rocks. That's about, I think that's about the level. And the reason, again, when you don't take time to notice the world around you, you live in a pretty tight space and a pretty lonely world. But read the banner, just my opinion.
I would give her a strike in a heartbeat. I almost did. And before I could, she took it down. So it's like, it's like screaming fire in a movie theater. And he says, yes. Nanny says, Kitty, take everything. Oh, yeah, I already said that one. And that's about it. Okay. Kitty, you got the floor. Anything you want to say before we jump off here? I got a Bronco game to watch.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. The Bears are playing tomorrow, Sunday. I'm so excited.
I know. I'm excited today. I'm as excited as you are going to be tomorrow, is how I am
Okay,
today.
cool. Yes. Yeah, the word of the year too was rage baiting. I don't know if we had talked about that and stuff. And I see it, I saw it, I took the bait. And I don't want to do that. Like,
There you
because
go.
it's hard to hear someone who doesn't know you really tearing you down and stuff.
I'm not sure how to rewind this particular clip that I'm playing here, this recording. I wish I could rewind that about 300 times and play it for just her. It's really hard to hear from someone who doesn't know you that's tearing you apart, that's tearing you down. Think about that, Kitty. Think about what you just said. Your words, remember? Think about that. Because you're taking part in a group of people, a group of haters that do that every time you're with them. Every time. Z, wake up. Anyhow. Yeah, Kitty.
That then have the goal to talk about fucking mental health. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what that's what you participate in. Can you not fucking see that? With your, against your own flesh and blood, whether you like them or not. I mean, I've got a sister that used to beat the snot out of me when I was young. Am I supposed to go attack her for that stuff? Am I supposed to go out and tell the world that I've got how miserable she is and start spewing a bunch of bullshit? I mean,
Have a good one, Z.
Good night, Z. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. But I just, they don't understand that's what they're doing, especially her, because she sought this shit out. Now all of a sudden she's going to backtrack and say, wait a minute, let's back up a little bit here. I don't want to get involved in the drama. I don't want to attack. I don't want to be so vile anymore. Fuck you. It's too late for that. Sunshine. It's called making your bed. And you make a sloppy bed, I can tell you that.
And man, really talking about my boobs. Like, why? Oh my gosh, they're fabulous. But
She was talking about how your bra was. I don't know. She's an idiot.
who cares? There was a bra. Like, get
He-
over
remember-
it. Oh my
remember he
gosh.
didn't want
Fuck,
it.
man. I mean, these people will just latch on to any stupid thought in their pea brains, Kitty. It
Yeah.
really is a circle jerk. Sorry for that, but go ahead.
No, and I was like,
Yeah, David,
I was like, so
Yep.
I just want to stop right there. He said these people will latch on to anything. Now,
Yeah.
I just want to say somebody can come into his comment section and say something, and he takes it as gospel. And example of that. The other day, I hadn't watched him for a while, but somebody sent me a thing saying that they were talking shit about me. So I went on there, and somebody jumped in the comments and said, "Oh, well, Scott had to leave White Snakes because White Snake, told him he had to leave because White Snake's wife had a problem with him," or something of that aligns, which is complete and utter bullshit. And actually, I got a kind of a laugh off of that, like that's even a possibility, anyways. But just a small example of something I know for a fact is bullshit. Scott knows it's bullshit, and you just take it as gospel that somebody came in there and spewed some shit.
Yeah, that's all they do. Like I said, and by definition, it is the lack of context. And I know I've harped on this word for a long time, not just tonight, but for a long time. I have talked about context. And the fact of the matter is that every human being needs to have some level, some ability to understand context, to understand their circumstances, to understand their surroundings, to understand the English language at a level that you can put more than 3 words together and comprehend what those words mean. They show all the time that they don't have that ability. And the sad part is that they're so fucking proud of it. That's the sad part. I mean, I don't even know how else to say it other than that's sad. I mean, it is bizarre. And the thing with you and the wife and Dio, it's like you're a little bit wrong because you said that at least you two knew it. I can tell you a whole lot of us knew that was horse shit. But
I had to tell. Never mind. I'm not even gonna get into it, but it's none of their fucking business. But yeah, that never happened. I'll guarantee you that. Did I lose you, David?
I'm here. Hold on.
No, sorry. I thought I lost.
No, I'm here. Let me see. All right. Somebody took care of it. You see, the other indicator of who we're dealing with is their lack of ability to be effective trolls. Right? Hold on a second.
Talk about delusional people.
Yeah, hold on just a second. I want to do this. All right. So the Toyota, I got the Toyota account. If nobody else could see it, I got it. And if nobody else blocked that account, then they have me blocked too. But they don't realize that there's ways around that. So
Yeah.
anyhow, Yeah, they have no skills for trolling whatsoever. All they know how to be is vile and insulting. And yeah, rather be. I know you. I don't mean to make light of the insults and the bullshit, the vile stuff they do, but we're all kind of thick-skinned and used to it, and understand the level of stupidity that it's coming from, and hard to be impacted by anymore. I mean, because they really don't have any game. They say the same shit over and over and over again. They go after this person this day and that person the next day, and we've just gotten really good at just ignoring their stupid asses. So, but doesn't mean they can come in here and put it in here and stay. And if they block the mods or block me or otherwise, like I said, there's ways around it, and tough shit for them. But I know anybody that's modding in my channel, they know to kick somebody like that immediately. So if you guys see it going on and they're not getting blocked or otherwise, bring it to our attention, and I have no issue doing it.
Jenny, you have a great night.
Yeah, good night, Jenny. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Let me see here. There's a couple minutes left on this. I'm not sure if any of it's worth listening to, but let's play it.
Like, who cares?
I'll let it run to the end.
For any, again, I've always said no monetary, no fame, no nothing. It's just to get to
That's bullshit.
combat the lies.
You
See my
dress in
brother
fucking costumes.
go to jail for what he has done, and maybe accept some accountability
You use your brother's
for what he has
pictures,
done.
and you dress in fucking
to the people
costumes.
around him and the
You're not
people
here
that
for the
he
fame
has
or
hurt
notoriety or
and stuff.
attention.
So
God, don't lie,
Yeah.
kitty.
that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Want to do better. Good, better, best. Better than the rest. So we'll go from there, and we'll see how it.
Too late.
Here's my final thought on everything. Leave Kitty alone. You want to go after somebody, go after me.
We are.
I am
Dumbass.
the one that spearheaded the DT movement.
Yes,
Can I call
you
it a
did.
movement now because
It's all your
it is,
fault.
Pretty big now.
You're responsible for this big pile of shit.
Kitty is here, and we are very appreciative of Kitty. She is fantastic on the show, a stalwart, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I think she's a fabulous addition to DT.
Fabulous.
Has a lot to say because she has a lot of insight on the person that we collectively can't stand.
Okay, I lied. She has a lot of insight on the person that we collectively can't stand. That's got to be parody. I mean, I'm sorry. That's got to be parody. You fucking idiot.
Because of all of his lies and bullshit and ego and all the other things that you can say about your brother Kitty. And it has, and what's funny is I mean, the trolls are out in full force, Kitty. I'm not even paying attention. I'm just like, whatever. But I will continue to do what I do as long as he continues to do what he does, and or go to prison, which I think he's going to prison. So hopefully, and we'll make a lot of videos after that and have a lot of fun. Trust me on that. I think it's going to be awesome. Okay. That's all I got for you. Kitty is a total rock star, Chris. Absolutely, 100%. Kitty, thank you so much for being here. I know we've been doing the. I'll check my emails more, Kitty. I promise. I've been slacking.
Oh yeah, it was just I'm usually not.
Yeah.
Not that important, but just whatever.
Yeah. So honestly, Kitty's awesome. You can look forward to more of the same as long as the brother just keeps doing what he's doing, which I know he will because he can't help himself. He's his own worst enemy. But anyways, you all take care. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to watch and enjoy the Broncos kicking the shit out of the Bills here. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.
Okay.
Stay safe.
Bye, guys.
And there it is. That's how it ended. Auntie M, did you fix shitbag? Is that what you're talking about? Hold on just a second. Because I think I blocked shitbag by mistake. And I'm not seeing a way for me to go in there right now and do that.
Yeah, it got fixed.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Oh, what's that noise? All right, hold on a second. I'll be right back. I just gotta check something out real quick in the kitchen.
Anyways, well, that was enjoyable, I guess. I have a hard time even listening to that moron speak. I can only take it in like small doses, you know. It's kind of like listening to Becky.
Yeah,
And there's a good example of somebody, okay, talking about, you know, being involved in this and put yourself in this. There's a good example of somebody, if they didn't keep inserting themselves and you know, standing on a soapbox and trying to be this super victim, no one would even fucking remember her name by now.
No, 100%. I agree with that 100%. And a whole lot of them, are that way. I mean, they're not really involved. They're inserted, and they're self-inserted into all these storylines. They don't do anything to further, you know, from way back when. They don't do anything to contribute. I'm just really nothing. Just like her with Becky. She did her claim to fame is that she has said every day for the last almost 2 years that she's been attacked by people,
Yeah.
namely Scott. Simply not true, and you know, the people who are involved, they know it. But yeah, I mean, they insert themselves into it and then continue it on, and she's probably the most extreme example. But back and watch. Have a good night. All right, hot mama. Sorry, didn't mean to put you to sleep. That's okay. I know I'm boring as fuck, but that's okay.
Nice seeing you, hot mama.
Yeah.
I hope you have a good evening.
And you know I'm kidding. I appreciate you being here. Jody, are you going to bed? Julie, are you going to bed?
Have a good one, Judy.
Let's see how tired she is. Good night, Judy. Appreciate you being here too. Of course, always. That a girl. That a girl. Way to come through. Appreciate it. No, I can just tell you that I could have gone off on these people almost daily just because of the level of insanity. But I agree with a lot of people that talk about those who are irrelevant and are not an impact on things. I agree. 99% of those comments I agree with. But like I said, there's just certain times like this tonight. I just felt like, you know, is this going to change the world doing this tonight, or the fact that they did this, you know, quote unquote interview? No, not at all. Not going to change anybody's outcome. It's not going to change, you know, what happens today, yesterday, or tomorrow. But I just felt like it was important to really show the true colors of people, of the illegitimate intentions of people, the generic drive that they have to accomplish their goal. And I say generic because they don't need details. They need no details whatsoever. And they're off to the races as long as it comes around to, did you check the box where it says I hate Scott? Oh, you did? Cool. Welcome in. What do you have to say? And the other obvious thing is that anyone, especially with chin pubes, anyone that has a contrary opinion, they talk about me blocking people on a whim or otherwise. I give everybody a chance to come in and talk. Luis, I don't understand all the hate. I'm confused. What are you confused about? I remember you from last night. I'm more than willing to talk about it. If you want to ask questions or you want to talk about it, please do. I can probably explain a lot of the hate. Because it's probably not coming from directions that you think or that you've been told or you've heard. I don't know. I don't know who you are and how long you've been around, what your involvement is, but if you say you don't understand all the hate and I'm confused, you blocked Danny so fast.
I did too,
Yeah.
Auntie.
Damn it. Hey, that's what the wrenches are for around here. You know, when you know, you know. And see, that's the other thing too, is I was actually defending DOA. That's fine. I hope you didn't take my response to you as insulting or insinuating anything. But like I said, there's I think it's a legitimate question for somebody to come into this community and not understand the hate. And it's more complicated than just knowing the players. You got to know the history, and again, there's so much spread out there that lacks context. But I got shot down for it. What do you mean you got shot down for it? For defending Scott? And when did you get shot down? In here or somewhere else? And I apologize if I'm not getting the context of a broader conversation that's going on, but it just kind of got my attention. Haven't heard all this. Well, just woke up. If I remember correctly, Kitty is a Christian. Why are the religious always the worst hypocrites? Don't even get me started on that. I mean, don't even get me started on that. You got stories to tell there a mile long. Go ahead.
I'll just say this. It doesn't matter what somebody claims they are. It's, what their heart is. And that shows by their actions and by how they carry themselves.
Yeah. Actions and words. You know, actions and words. It's important to be able to differentiate between the two and what they mean and what they can do.
Well, Louise, that's your first mistake, is even going into that chat.
Right. Well, I was there too. I was actually there last night. And just as a humor break, I don't know how long his whole stream was, but I can tell you for the last hour and at least hour and a half, maybe between an hour and a half and 2 hours, the last part, he was out. He was a black, a grayed screen for at least an hour and a half to almost 2 hours. Unheard from. Not a sound. Which I thought was funny. It started getting nasty. Yeah, Louise, a couple people commented about having rational conversations. I don't know if you were one of those people, but you go into that. It's kind of like going into the lion's den with a chunk of meat in your hand, you're going to get attention, and it's probably not going to be the attention you want. And vice versa. You know, if you go in empty-handed, you're going to get ignored because they want reactions. They want to produce reactions that are insane. You know, they have an agenda, and if you don't fit that, then like I said, they'll either ignore your attack, one of the two. And like I said, just so you understand, I don't know, when I go in there, 90% of the reason I'm in there is to goof on people, just to show how stupid they are. You know, him talking to my daughter. He got a call from my daughter, and I can assure everybody it's 100% not true. Now, I'm not saying he didn't get a call from somebody, but I'm telling everybody 100% that it wasn't my daughter. But he's hooked on that. He actually through chat, so of course I wasn't on the panel. He asked through chat if Lisa was here next to me, and he wanted to ask her some questions about verifying what he heard from talking to our daughter. And the reason he did that is because the fake Lisa B account was in there. He actually thought it was her. I think he's the only person in there who knew it wasn't her, or that didn't know it was her. However I said that. And it's like, that's all they've got. Like calling me a liar. It's hilarious. They try to put this narrative out there that the whole community knows I'm a liar. They think I'm a liar. They don't trust me, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, motherfuckers, look in a mirror just one time, please. Dan Dastardly, I enjoy the shit out of that. I mean, it's they make it, I'll repeat it again. They make it so easy. They all do. Every one of them. People in the chat, people in those panels. I mean, the premise of their entire existence is based on them being goofed on all the time. And they just don't they don't have a clue. They really don't. The problem for them really is that they take it serious to the point where they start breaking laws because they get butthurt, they get frustrated because they don't comprehend what's going on. And once you break laws, you break laws. It's kind of hard to take that shit back. You can always take words back. You can always take goofing back. But when you break laws, it's hard to take that back. So anyhow, I don't want to keep harping on it, but like I said, for tonight, I really wanted to peel some layers of the onion back and just show, Kitty's true colors, Chin Pube's true colors, and then a combination between the two, and the fact that something impacted her to back off, and he tried as hard as he could to get her to say some nasty shit and go along with the original plan of attack. And as soon as she said that all she wanted to do was this and stay out of the drama, and he started presenting even as much generic evidence as possible to keep her in the loop, keep her in the show. But like I said, I may be wrong on it. I may be seeing it wrong, but I kind of don't think I am. And from the conversations here tonight, I think that's pretty well confirmed.
Sorry, David, I missed some of that. I had to speak with somebody that pulled up next to me.
It's all right. He's just a slug. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how some of these people actually make it through a daily life without really struggling with just the simplest of things. It's wild. Oh, and I also wanted to say that that we had a conversation the other day, and somebody said about punching up instead of punching down. I've got like 350 subs, I think. So I'm punching up to a channel with 6,500 subs. I'm punching way the fuck down to a puny piece of shit human being that runs that channel, but the channel itself is much larger than mine. So I consider that punching up right now. And for anyone that's listening right now that's not really paying attention, I learned that in a magic book. Just putting it out there. Anyhow, you know, should I clip that? Should I clip me saying that? Pretty sure. Somebody's swallowing that shit right now, I guarantee it. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind somebody's swallowing that right now as we speak. Bon Jovi, I'm glad you do. I mean, I appreciate you guys being in a position that it works, that we do this, and I think a lot of us feel the same way. It's nice to have different options to go in and just shoot the shit and not have a objective in front of us all the time. That's what I want this channel to be, is just somewhere to do a little venting and bringing some reality out there when we need to, and joking around. And I'm looking at some different stuff for the future, just to be a little bit more diverse other than just sitting there talking. But none of that shit's happening right now when it's 3 degrees outside or whatever it is. But yeah, that magic book is on audiobooks because I don't read books. Hate to admit that out loud, but never been a book reader. And shitbag, I don't know if I apologize or not, but I blocked you and didn't mean to. I'm still getting used to the fact that chat scrolls on this program. Chat scrolls even if you have something highlighted. On the other, if you highlight something, it locks in place and doesn't move. This one, when you highlight it, it doesn't matter. It just keeps moving, and you just happen to be the one right underneath it. So, my apologies. I'm not going to promise it'll never happen again. I'll promise that I'll try to have it not happen, but if I do it again, I apologize already. So, what else is new with the world? Anybody? Anything? And it's blocked. It's actually, I've had that happen before. I'm like, well, we kicked you out. And I'm like, what? No, you didn't. Yeah, we did. Yeah, if you haven't taken friendly fire, I agree, Scott. If you haven't taken friendly fire, you haven't lived. That's what it's all about. 56 here, and I'm freezing. Maui, you really didn't just say that. Come on, 56? Of course, it was 80, or better. What, yesterday or day before? Maybe it was today. 38 in Slidell, Texas.
Wow.
Salute. That reminds me of Hee Haw. Oh, everybody's saying the temperature in the States and stuff. Do we really want to talk about the world tonight? That's depressing. Yeah, Butch, I get you, man. I just there's just so much to say about that could run for hours. I could stay up all night doing that. I don't know if it'd make any difference, but I could certainly do it. there's certainly a lot to say about it from a lot of different directions. -9. Ouch. 22 feels like 16. Yeah, we're holding at low single digits. They said it's supposed to go down below 0 tonight and tomorrow night, but and a high of 3 tomorrow. So I don't know if the bulk of it hasn't come in yet, or if maybe they're going to be off a little bit. I don't know. Anyone watch the new Game of Thrones show on HBO tonight? I forgot it came out. No, I did not. I don't have HBO.
You know, Scott, I have a TV in every room of the house, and yet I haven't watched TV in damn near 10 years.
Wow, that's impressive. That's a good thing. When we moved in here, we didn't hook our TV up for the first year and a half we lived here. It was sitting in the living room, but we never hooked it up for a full year and a half. It was fantastic. I don't know why we hooked it up when we did, but it's amazing how much time you waste sitting in front of a TV. I don't live in America, but I'm hating what's happening there politically. Yeah, you're not alone, Luis. I mean, it's some crazy stuff, and the sad part is it's not just here. It's trying to spread around the world, and thank God there's a lot of people out there that recognize it for what it is, and they'll stand up and hopefully be able to do some stuff about it. So we just need to get through November, and things will change drastically. I have all the confidence in the world in that. You got all my soap opera needs right here. Yeah, no doubt, right, Scott? I'm the opposite. My son was little. We had 2 TVs in the living room, so he could watch his shows and we could watch ours or play games. Yeah, that's funny, Nancy. I've had enough different delivery service type jobs that I've been in people's houses, and I've seen more than 2 set up. Actually, I was like, "What's that about?" He's like, "Well, that one's for the kid over there, and this is mine, and that's his." I'm like, wear headphones or what? Yeah, we haven't watched. I don't think we've watched regular, like network TV or any of the pay channel stuff for quite a while. 99, probably at least 99% of what we watch is on YouTube. But it's not just this stuff. I like some
I
of
was
the.
getting into some of the like unsolved case homicide and stuff like that not too long ago on YouTube. That was kind of interesting watching some of those cases.
Yeah, we're watching. There's a couple guys in Tasmania that are gold prospectors, and one of them is also a filmmaker, young guy, but he's almost genius level in his ability to analyze history and tie it to topography and everything over there. But it's pretty amazing to watch. Rob Parsons is his name, if anybody's interested. How did that film get in? I'm not sure the States will survive the damage. Hope so. Yeah, I hope so too.
I've heard that name before.
I think we can. Rob Parsons. Yeah. He's leading a search for a missing hiker from Denmark, and she went missing 2 years ago, and he's gotten involved in it. They found her cell phone out in the woods and some other stuff. So, and he's documenting all that stuff. Altifa, what's going on? Richard Carrier, I know that guy too. I don't know who Richard Carrier is. Is that who you said? White Stain?
What's that?
Altifa said Richard Carrier, and I know that guy too. I'm just wondering if that's who you were talking about. If that was the name you mentioned.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Do you think Trump's new investigation of the day will go anywhere into Don Lemon? No, I don't. It's a distraction. It's a distraction technique. And honestly, I haven't heard much of anything about it, but no, distractions. Because that's all they're good at right now. Pretty much everything now. I just say release the Epstein files. And it kind of cools their jets. And it pisses off a lot of people when I say that, but you know what? I'll say it every day because here's my position on the Epstein files, everybody. If you're listening, cheap seats and all, I don't give a fuck who's in the Epstein files.
Not at all.
Investigate every damn one of them. If they are found to have done anything with the kids, they're involved in this. Cut their balls off, lock them in a room
Hang
somewhere.
them by their balls first.
And Lisa says hang them by their balls first. And I don't care who it is.
Not one
All right.
bit.
Good night, Scott. Thanks, man. Appreciate you coming over, hanging out.
Good seeing you, NYC.
Yeah, I just I don't give a shit who it is. I don't care if it's Trump or Clinton or you name. Put a name out there, and I'll just tell you, I don't care. Left, right, middle, upside down, or sideways. I don't give a shit. Release the Epstein files. Release the investigations into all these people. Go public with it all, and put this shit to rest. And if Trump's in it, if the proof is there that he's involved in this stuff, sorry, dude, no immunity for being president. Doesn't work that way. You do that shit with kids, and there's proof of it all, off with your balls into a room. Clinton, same thing. I don't care. Male, female, it doesn't matter. We're talking about fucking kids here. And somehow it's become more important about how we talk about it politically. Fuck that. I don't give a shit. I don't care if you're, wacko left, wacko right. Doesn't matter. We're talking about stuff that happened to kids. And it's probably, most disgustingly, it's probably still happening to kids out there. Probably still happening. And while we're dicking around with all this political and military and everything else distraction techniques, there's probably still kids getting hurt. Altifa, are you leaving? Appreciate you coming in if you are, unless you're saying that to somebody else. Yeah, Bon Jovi, I'm sorry. It just, like I said, I don't care. President, past president, future president, doesn't mean that means nothing. It's a fucking title. We're talking about kids getting brutalized, destroyed. I'm sorry. I will fight that fight any day of the week. Literally any day of the week. And it's disgusting that, a lot of people on this hate train use that as an attack on people. Just last night, dipshit in Louisiana was calling me a groomer. Did I groom children? Interesting. Funny how that's where the brain goes right off the bat. But yeah, that's where I stand on it. I don't give a shit about the politics when it comes to that.
I agree with that.
Yeah. That I just can't tolerate. I just can't. I mean, there's no way in any universe. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's hard not to be with us on that. You know, if anybody's a reasonable, rational human being, Altifa, I mean, it's a simple equation. Well, you know what? I'll take the fall for that one. Anybody wants to put me on a terrorist watch list for saying what I just said? Fuck you. I don't care. I don't give a shit if you're the president or vice president or this, that, or the other. If you're left, right, it doesn't matter. That's all there is to it. It's wrong, and it needs to be exposed because it's too big and too dangerous for kids.
As far as I'm concerned, there's no rehabilitation for that shit either.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Well, there's solutions to some of it, but rehabilitation, no, I don't think so. You know, I would like I said, this is the type of stuff that, you know, I don't know if anybody has the balls or stupidity to come up and debate this particular subject. But it's stuff like this I would love to get into debates about. You know, tell me your side of it and I'll tell you mine. Let's see where we end up and what's going on with it. See how much I understand, see how much you understand, and what do we do with it from there? Probably in capital letters on that list. Oh. Do you think all these wars are being used to cover up and distract from the fact that everyone in power is on that damn list? Yes, I do. Roxy, yes. Tell me one other reason why we're doing any of them. Anybody? Why are we involved in the wars and such that we're involved with right now? Whether it be physically involved or through narratives. Give me one reason we're involved in any of them. Yeah. Al, let's talk about that somewhere else. Right? A lot of times people do and say things because they hear things they don't want to hear or do want to hear. So don't give them stuff to hear. But yeah, seriously, as far as the question, as far as the wars and stuff and the conflicts, somebody give me a different answer to it. I will entertain any different answer to it, and we can debate that all day long. But what else makes sense? What's going on in Minnesota right now? Why is that happening? Because Minnesota is the illegal capital of the world, of the country. Again, somebody give me a reason. I mean, the tactics that are being deployed there, you know, the talk about bringing 1,500 paratroopers from Alaska and any of the above. Somebody come up with it and I'll entertain what they're saying, but I haven't heard anything that makes sense other than it's a distraction. And it's not just that list that's being distracted from. There's other stuff too. The fact that they're almost ready to lose the House, the fact that they're not getting anything done, they're not doing a damn, as far as legislation and otherwise, they're doing shit. They're getting nothing done. This healthcare thing they just put out, it's basically Obamacare with a couple tweaks to it. You guys realize that? There's hardly any difference. Matter of fact, I don't know if you guys know this or not. The item that they used to kill Obamacare was a program that paid insurers to insure low-income people. And I'm not going to get into the whole deep background of it, but that's basically what the Republicans used to kill Obamacare. And then it was restructured into the Affordable Care Act. Guess what? This new health plan, the great, whatever the hell he called it, the great healthcare thing that he came out with now. Guess what it includes? Yeah. The exact thing that they took out of Obamacare to kill it. That's the biggest difference. That's the biggest change they did. So what they used as a weapon against people to get rid of healthcare is what they're putting back in to make it work.
I'll just say this. If a country like, say, Thailand can have free health care for its people, and I'm not saying it's the best health care, but it's provided if needed.
Yeah.
Why the fuck doesn't this country?
That's easy too. It's all about money, greed,
Right.
and power. Yeah. That's all. I mean, that's it. That's it. That's all it is. There's no other reason. Again, there's no other reason why that doesn't happen. Can we afford it? Sure, we can afford it. Can they make it happen? Sure, they can make it happen. But if they make it happen, they don't make as much money.
Right.
The power players lose some of their dividends. And as long as they're power players, it's never going to happen.
Well, like
And I know-
over there, you get a certain level of care, provided, and if you have money and you can pay, then you can boost up and get yourself a private room and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, there's like I said, there's all kinds of things that we can talk about it that way, but again, just the simplicity of it all. The absolute simplicity is follow the money. With all of that type of stuff, insurance and healthcare and mortgages and finance stuff, it all comes down to who's making the money and who's pulling the strings that control the money. And it's not us. Everybody knows that it's not us. So, yeah, the Minnesota stuff's very, very, very political, and it's an easy mark to initiate this stuff. See, they try to initiate stuff in California first because you have the same scenario. The governor is the target. It's a high-end op, and didn't work out so well there. So now what are they doing? They tried it in Oregon, didn't work out so good there because it fizzled out. But now they're going to blow the top off in Minnesota. Why? Because they can get away with it. And also, for those that don't realize it, look at the area of Minneapolis that they're in. They're in the hood. Why are they in the hood? Because it's the easiest place to cause conflict, and they know it. They know it. They can insult those that entire community and think they're warranted for doing it, and they know it fuels a fire quick. Why else would they be there? Is there some overabundance of illegal immigrants there? Not from what I've seen. Numbers don't prove that out. But my biggest thing is I hope the world realizes that, you know, we have moments of stupidity where we elect people that shouldn't be in office. But we've always been really good at correcting that, and I hope that the same thing happens now. Is that it won't be too much longer. We'll get it all corrected and taken care of, and get things back to normal, and start acting like the greatest country in the world. You know, like we should be. Yeah, Butch, I got to tell you, I've been impressed with a number of things along those lines. You know, just like with Jake Lang, I'm real impressed that he didn't end up carted off in an ambulance. I think the control that those people had was exceptional, and again, you know, right now, just looking at Minneapolis, what would make this all stop overnight? Well, I mean, what one action would make all of this stop? Pull ice out of the streets. It all goes away. I mean, immediately it would go away. Yeah, Nanya, I agree. I was watching what you were saying earlier. I mean, when at some point, I would love, I don't know if you're up for it, but I would love to have you come up on a panel and talk about this from a, you know, first person perspective and give your input. I think it's something that I think maybe a lot of people would want to hear. But yeah, I think the solution is very, 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 very simple. ICE, leave the streets. Quit shooting people. Quit beating people up. Quit maiming people. Quit blowing up cars. Quit putting 6-month-old babies in cardiac arrest. Quit defaming entire neighborhoods. Quit acting like Nazis. And it ends. All right, Nani, that's fine. I wasn't sure. I love your perspectives for chat anyway. You know that. But yeah, I just, it's a really complex, really a hot button thing. It's an explosive thing. It's extremely volatile right now, because it's only going to take just a small amount to set this off the wrong way. And I think that's what their goal is. They want it to go to the point of no return. I can tell you right now, Trump would love nothing more than to watch, you know, 1,500 paratroopers come into Minneapolis on camera. Guaranteed. Guarantee they give him a big old Woody. Well, maybe not big. Maybe not. Maybe it's too much for him. There's been a big influx of people leaving the states. Yeah, I don't blame anybody for saying I want to just get the hell out of here. If they don't have ties to family or or otherwise. If they don't have, if they have options to get away from it, why not? Because they sure aren't making it a great place to hang out. Yeah, the blue wall, 100% Butch, very clear. But now he's kind of taken it beyond that, because now he has, delusions of grandeur that he's going to take over the world. But yeah, the base of Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois. He wants to show his might on the blue states. Yeah, Nani, I agree. That's another great example. And I mean, everybody should have known this from the first time he was in. The shit that he pulled in D.C. Again, with the helicopters and protesters and all. White Snake, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. I just want to make sure. I didn't want you to start snoring or anything over there.
No, I was lost in thought, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, jump in, man. I want to hear. I'd love to hear your perspective on some of this stuff.
Well,
agree or disagree. I don't care. Doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, quite honestly, my mind went back to Scott's live the other day, the other morning, and what he was saying about, honestly, not as much of who's sitting there as the puppet in office as much as it is those that are pulling strings and making them dance. So, I know it's easy to go back and forth with this, Trump, Biden, that kind of stuff, but I look at it as far as is that the actual root of the problem, or does it go deeper than that? And from where I sit, I personally think that they have been trying to get this country into a civil war for several years now, without luck. And what events could take place to get that to happen? I've seen a lot of videos of people out there that are, it's pretty volatile right now, and it doesn't take much for that fuse to get lit, and once it's lit,
Yeah, once it's lit, it's hard to put out.
yeah. And I think about, my kids, and and the world that I grew up in compared to what we're living in now, and it scares the living shit out of me.
Yeah, I think your point about the not dwelling on the names, but the people behind the names. I think that's something that everybody's over the last 8, 10, 12 years, give or take. I think that's something that people have, I hope, become more conscious of, more aware of, that Trump doesn't matter, Biden didn't matter, Clinton didn't matter, Obama didn't really matter, the Bushes didn't really matter. There's so much proof of all that the office of the president matters, but the president doesn't matter. That's really the only level that hits on. I mean, personally, I think Trump's an idiot. He's just, that's my personal feeling, but that doesn't matter, because he's not responsible for all this stuff. He's the mouthpiece. They found the perfect mouthpiece for what they wanted to do. That's how they finally succeeded to the level they have, because they thought Bush was it. I mean, go back to when Bush was around. I can tell you, my daughter was in Brazil at that time, and some of the stuff that she was concerned about how they felt about our president. And somebody asked in here tonight, how did he get elected? Luis, I think, asked that. How did he get in? she had the exact same question posed to her multiple times in Brazil by Brazilian people she met in Brazil. School age kids and adults and teachers and different stuff. Yeah, they all asked that. They thought we were fools for electing this guy. Well, that was their attempt to have the same thing go on, but Bush wasn't the answer. Trump's the answer. Trump was their vessel, and a lot of them knew it a long time ago. Shit, they tried to get him to run a long time ago. But again, when you describe somebody as a vessel, you got to have somebody steering that ship, and you got to have money and power behind it to make it go. So I don't argue that at all. I think that's exactly the way things work. There's plenty of documentation to prove that, but it's just easier to say Trump or Biden or whatever.
Yeah. I think that a lot of that comes down to, a distraction of people spending their time arguing back and forth about the two.
Yeah. Well, I think that
I think they're both assholes.
Yeah, I hope that people are a little less shallow than that they have a better understanding of what our government is and how it works, and really how it works. But I know a lot of people don't, but I hope more than I expect would, at least. Because if you don't understand that, then there's no sense in arguing about how whether you like somebody or not. It doesn't impact it much, unless you understand where all this is coming from and why it's happening. Because it's, like I said, it's pretty easy to decipher once you have an idea of why it's happening and what's going on. You can almost predict what's next. I think the one thing Scott said the other day that I just locked in on was he finds it amazing that MAGA was so against masks and everything for COVID, but now you got their warriors out there and every one of them's wearing a mask. It's like, make that make sense. Does that tell you how the validity of the arguments? It's okay to wear them this way, but not that way, and we're going to raise holy shit both ways. It's never been about the mask. It's always been about the control and the money. Because believe it or not, whether anybody wants to admit it or not, COVID made a whole lot of people really fucking rich. I mean, there was a lot of money involved with COVID. And we were just kind of the players and the pawns in the game, so to speak. See Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, 3%ers. They're all on ice now. Yeah. I don't know if they all are, but yeah, I agree with that.
I'm a strong believer that all their faces should be seen, and every one of them should have a fucking body camera on them that they can't turn off.
Yeah, and identification.
Yeah.
When's the last time any of you guys have seen any type of armed force show up in blue jeans? Anybody think about that? That's not an issued uniform. Levi's are not on the accepted uniform list. And look at how many are in blue jeans out there. And again, this is my opinion, but I may be way off base on it, but it sure does identify a lot of stuff for me. They're wearing tennis shoes here in Minnesota in the winter. So many videos and pics of them falling is hilarious. Yeah, the falls have been pretty funny, I will say that. But tennis shoes and blue jeans. Tell me, What branch of our government has ever used or worn or accepted blue jeans and tennis shoes? The only time I can think of that would be undercover. Otherwise, I don't know that I can think of an example where that's been part of the uniform. Right? I mean, what about the officer caught with his flight standing on? Okay, I'm sorry, Ratherby. That's just a bonus. That's just an absolute bonus laugh, is all that is. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I'm glad some people are finding humor in at times where everybody's so stressed out. I think some of the humorous stuff, like the ice falls and stuff. I called it the other day. I brought that up and I said, this is ice on ice violence. When they're getting taken out by the sidewalk. But in all seriousness, what's going on shouldn't be going on. You've got courts that are saying this shouldn't be happening, but the courts are getting ignored in this country, and that's never happened before, where the courts are just so blatantly disregarded.
Well, and the
There-
music hills, history shows that anytime any agency has relaxed their hiring qualifications, things have gone to shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, that goes with anything. Quantity over quality is always an issue. It's always going to be a problem. Bonus hasn't been paid yet to upgrade shoes. Yeah, there's a whole lot of takes on that, Butch, but I just like I said, I've never seen any organized force in this country or any branch of either intelligence or military or law enforcement. I've never seen them show up in blue jeans. If they're gonna, and it doesn't matter what they're doing. Yeah, that's pretty pathetic, Nanya. Hennepin County Sheriff are there protecting ICE and right-wing protesters, not the peaceful ones. All law enforcement officers are now the same in my eyes. And who can blame you for thinking that? I mean, when you're experiencing that and feeling that up close and personal, who can blame you for feeling that? It's a pretty big letdown, no doubt about that. I'm just wondering what's the guy's name? The sheriff that drives around in the car, does the Friday night patrol thing that he streams on YouTube. That's not Hennepin, is it? Is that like the neighboring county? I'm just wondering what he's doing.
I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember his name.
Yeah, it's Live Patrol or something like that.
Yeah, Live on Patrol.
Yeah, I used to watch him religiously for a long time. We watched him until I heard him one night going off about his political beliefs. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, something wrong with this picture now. Sheriffs aren't supposed to be political. They're supposed to be, protector of the people. If you're political, especially right now, that equation doesn't equal out to what it should. Bob Fletcher, thank you. Yeah, Ramsey County. Yep. Thank you for that. It was like right on the tip of my tongue. I couldn't come up with it though. Yeah, he acts like a fool, and the longer he's been on YouTube, the worse he's gotten. He's so condescending to the people of his jurisdiction. Coyote on my block wall. Well, good for you. Get a pic. Send a picture, rather be. I love that stuff. I get up every morning and I check what kind of footprints are in the backyard, just to see what was out there. A lot of it's coyotes and deer, and occasionally you get a little fat track of a possum or something like that going through the yard in the snow. Oh, come on now. Coyotes are going to be, they'll be afraid of you. Don't feed them or anything, but guarantee you can scare them before they scare you.
Well, I don't mean to jump off here before you're done, David, but I got something I need to go do real quick before
Yeah.
I just looked. It's almost midnight. I thank you everybody for being here, and appreciate all you guys. And David, thank you for having me. I do appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
I appreciate it immensely.
And Doug, you're a sick fuck. And hopefully someday, well, yeah, maybe somebody will look into your hard drive someday. I'd be interested to find out what lies in there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, hey, don't ever worry about jumping off. You got to go. You got to go, man. That's
Yeah. Well, you guys have a great night, and thank you for having me. It's always fun.
Yeah. All right, man. Have a good night.
All right. Good night,
Good
Lisa.
She says good night. Rather, your question is, I saw a raccoon Saturday night. Why are they here? Because people are feeding them. They're leaving garbage out that they can get to, and they're feeding them. And nobody in a metro or suburban area should do that at all, because that brings them into dangerous situations for them and sometimes for the people. Because they got to go somewhere, and they're always going to be hungry. So if they can find easy food, that's what you're going to go in for. Wow, it is 2 a.m. Good night, all. Good night, Nanya. White Snake had to put the time out there. Now everybody's tired. That's all right. I just looked at the clock too. Well, hey, since it is 2 o'clock in the morning here, we'll end this. And I really appreciate you guys being here, and I appreciate the conversation and the observations about stuff. I hope it put a dent in some of the stupidity out there. That everybody has a little bit more ammunition to use when they encounter the stupidity. And like I said, I will never hesitate to call out stuff like this. I think that's what part of why I'm here. How's Scott holding up with everything? I haven't had time to listen to him of late. I think he's doing all right. He's got a lot on his head right now. The lawfare and everything else it's a bunch. And it's so much more than anybody realizes. And trying to balance that and figure out what's right for him and what course of action to take is a big challenge. Thank God he's got a lot of good people to help him out with all that stuff. But anyhow, yeah, I'll always leave videos up. I have no reason to take anything down or anything like that. So if y'all want to catch it on replay or whatever you missed, or otherwise, please do. Hit the like, subscribe, invite your friends, invite your family. No, never mind. I don't care about that stuff. I feel like I have to say it. if nothing else, I'll say it just to mock some of the people like MLH that beg for people to hit the like and drum rolls and stupid shit like that. So I'm just here to see who shows up and hang out with whoever does. So hopefully have some good conversation, talk about some good topics and important stuff, and sometimes some unimportant, irrelevant stuff, but you know how that goes. So you guys have a great night. Hopefully enjoy the day off tomorrow for a lot of people. Things are shut down tomorrow, so we've got a long weekend. And for those in the northern half of the country or elsewhere where it's fucking cold out there, stay warm, be careful. If you got to be outside, just remember below zero can kill you. Doesn't take long. You get caught off guard and get into a jam, it can be a bad thing. So always remember to pay attention to that. Be prepared. Have a blanket and flashlight and a couple candles with you, and keep yourself alive till somebody can help you out. So with that, I will say good night, and I appreciate it. I enjoyed it. So, until next time, we'll see y'all.